Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's the house!
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Did you hear what I said?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Did you hear what I said?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Huh?
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? Yeah, too bad a lot of you didn't stay around to the end last night. We played the old rap from the Kanika Jenkins days with me and Straight Drop. That was pretty good. Forgot about that. All right, well, Christopher Marshburn sent me something right before the show, so I thought we'd take a look at this really quick first. And this is what you're going to get from a lot of these YouTubers out there. Candace Owens is a perfect example of this. This isn't Candace. This is obviously somebody else. I'm just saying. I'm not talking about Candace Owens. Tarot reading influence ordered to pay $10 million in damages for falsely accusing professor in University of Idaho murders. And it really wasn't that she did it, it's that she just kept doing it over and 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 over again. Even when she was told to stop doing it, she just kept going. Are you guys there? Hello? Hello? Are you guys there? Quit. Don't have conversation with people about. Let's just move forward here, you guys. Are we all here? Are we ready to go? Okay. A federal jury ordered influencer Ashley Gillard to pay University of Idaho professor Rebecca Schofield $10 million in damages for falsely claiming that Schofield was responsible for the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students. An influencer has been ordered to pay $10 million in damages to an Idaho professor for falsely claiming she was involved in the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students. On February 27th, a federal jury ordered content creator Ashley Gillard, known online for theorizing about high-profile unsolved murders. Yeah, this is one of those idiots that you always see, and they get the most views. They get everybody looking, watching, because they just put out false information, just like Candace Owens. Candace Owens does the same shit. And a lot of these true crime YouTubers, JLR, etc., they just go on and on and on about who did this and who did this every second of every day, and eventually it's going to bite them in the ass at some point, all right? This is what happens. According to the initial complaint filed by Schofield against Gillard in December of 2022, I mean, this was filed so long ago, I mean, like literally a month and a half after. The content creator made a series of posts on TikTok in November of 2022 claiming that Schofield was responsible for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. The gripping case in which Brian Koberger later confessed to the killings and received 4 lifetime sentences. In her videos, Gillard also allegedly implied or directly stated that Schofield had been involved in a romantic relationship with one of the murder victims. Yeah, I remember that. The complaint went on to say that Schofield sent Gillard several cease and desist letters. See, if you'd responded to those, there wouldn't have been a case. Though the content creator continued to post videos claiming that Schofield had orchestrated the murders after the student threatened to make their relationship public. In a June 6, 2024 order, a federal judge sided with Schofield, ruling that the internet personality statements were defamatory and based only on her spiritual intuition. Look, what are these idiots? How come you guys, I'm not saying you guys particularly, what in the hell are you doing listening to these fools out there? Oh, Kohlberger did it! Oh, they did it! Oh, the lady killed Kohlberger! Oh my God, I believe it, because she was reading a tarot card. Ooh, yeah! I mean, it's just, you guys, the sad part is when I say you guys, I'm talking about the people out there that literally watch these idiots and cheer them on. It's sick, okay? Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. It's just absolute lunacy, you guys. Look at that. Spiritual. God, give me a break. And the thing is, if nobody watched her, that lady probably wouldn't have cared at all. The judge also noted that Gillard's social media posts continued even after the Moscow Police Department issued a press release in December stating that Schofield was not a suspect in the murder investigation. During the federal trial last week, jurors heard testimony about how accusations made online can affect one's reputation in the workforce, even when the allegations are later disproven. Now, there'll always be that little doubt somebody had, On Friday, February 27th, the jury ordered Gillard to pay Schofield $6.5 million in damages for the allegations. Yeah. And by the way, it's not buffering up here. I mean, I don't know who's saying it was buffering. I'm reading. I just read Coco Love saying it's not buffering. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's saying it's buffering. I mean, if it's buffering and nobody else is saying it's buffering, then it's you. You probably don't have a very good internet connection, right? The $10 million verdict reinforces the judge's decision and sends the clear message that false statements online have consequences in the real world for real people. And here's the thing that I always tell people that. That's why when people put in chat a declarative statement as if they know what the answer is when you cannot possibly know, that's where you're putting yourself in trouble. We don't do it here. We say stuff like, maybe this happened, and we try not to use names all the time. I mean, it does happen, but you just can't go around and sit there and just keep digging into the most ridiculous angles in the world and accusing people over and over and over again. That's even happening in this, Nancy Guthrie case, right? Anyways. Let's see. Gillard responded to the verdict, disputing the jury ruling and calling it unfair and ridiculous. In a statement, Gillard claimed that the verdict does not reflect the evidence. It does. It totally reflects the evidence. You're an idiot. Okay. All right. And her response right there is exactly how a Candace Owens type viewer would respond, because they think something's true, therefore it is, not because they proved anything was true. Right. All right. So, hey guys, while we're watching the show, if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be fantastic. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch over now. Yeah, so there was 2 girls found in Cleveland, Ohio, inside of suitcases. 2 African-American black girls. I mean, I'm not sure what, After a while, you don't know what the PC term is. I think people just say a black child, but there's 2 of them found in suitcases right here. And it's somewhere right along this fence line right there at a baseball field behind the Ginn Academy right here. Okay. Yeah. See, I got you to laugh again, Coco Love. You see how that works? Yeah. So I don't really, the order of these articles, I'm just going to go through them. The bodies of 2 young girls were found inside suitcases in Cleveland, Ohio, police said Tuesday. In a press conference, Cleveland Police Chief Dorothy Todd said on, hold on a second. Said on Tuesday that the bodies of 2 girls were found in suitcases buried in shallow graves on Monday evening. One of the girls was believed to be between the ages of 8 and 13 years old, while the other was believed to be 10 to 14. Hey, thanks, Billy. Thank you. Neither girl was identified as of Tuesday night. This is a priority, Todd said during Tuesday's press conference. This is a traumatic event for our officers, for the community, and this is just such a tragic incident, but we are trying to develop any leads we can. Police said there's no active missing persons report in Cleveland that matched the 2 victims. So perhaps one of the questions asked at the press conference that we'll play here in a minute, it's only 10 minutes long, was regarding like that they were malnourished. You know, and then it makes you wonder, were these like those same, you know, those stories you hear about the homeschooled people, children, and then they don't even, nobody even knows if they're missing or anything like that. But they didn't reply. I don't know where that information came from. The lady said we have to wait for the medical examiner. So maybe that'll be coming up here. Is that from Caddyshack? Billy. Yeah. Police said there are no active missing persons reported in Cleveland that match the 2 victims. Officials said someone walking their dog near East 162nd Street and Midland Avenue found what appeared to be a body inside a suitcase around 6 p.m. on Monday. When officers responded to the scene near the Gin Academy, they found one of the bodies stuffed in a suitcase in a shallow grave. The second shallow grave with the body stuffed in a suitcase was found after officers searched the area. This is a field close to the school over there, Todd said. This is just a residential neighborhood that I'm sure a lot of people do frequent. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office has custody of the bodies and will identify the girls. Todd said there's no clear indication of possible causes of death for the girls or how long the girls were there. It was some time, so it's not something that was recent. So that means they've been there for a while. That makes this even kind of crazy, you know. So probably at the beginning of the winter, and then, you know, it's just been winter, and now we're March and things are starting to melt. Now you can see, like there was snow on the ground apparently that's melted away. Usually in residential areas, you know what's happening in your neighborhood. Something just seems a little bit off. Well, yeah. Well, it's not a little bit off. It's really off. The bodies of 2 young girls suspected to be homicide victims were found buried in separate suitcases Monday evening. Let's see what happens right here. You click on that. Okay. The girls' bodies were found off East 162nd Street in a field near GINN Academy. Police Chief Dorothy Todd told reporters on Tuesday afternoon the suitcase was partially buried in shallow graves. It's just a terrible, horrific situation, she said. The Cleveland Division of Police Homicide Unit is now seeking investigative leads from the public and have launched a 24-hour daily tip line, which can be reached at 216-623-5464. Hey, whoa, what's going on? We got a challenge in the chat here by Wild Bill Wassman. All right. He's doing one of the, a 5 for 5. He'll donate 5 memberships if 5 of you gift 1. So thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see. One girl is estimated to be 8.5 to 13. I wonder why there's such a big discrepancy. Well, I guess they're probably that decomposed. The other is believed to be between 10 and 14. It was unclear Tuesday how the girls had died or how long they'd been there, Todd said, citing recent heavy snowfall that may have concealed the graves, but they do not know when they were there, but they do know that they were there for some time, so a long period of time. The girls have not yet been identified, Todd said. Police do not have any reports of local missing children who match their description, she said. And thanks, Alley Cake. They're now checking state and nationwide. This is a traumatic event for our officers, for the community. This is just such a tragic incident. I think that's in the press conference. He said his dog ran over... Okay, so it says he said his dog ran over near the fence line of the Saranac playground where there was a partially buried suitcase. Donaldson went to investigate and unzipped it, discovering a head. He immediately called police. Now, the way that's worded, it sounds like a dismemberment, but it turns out they weren't dismembered. He said he was shocked and hasn't slept since. Cheryl Young has lived across the street for 26 years. She's very worried and said she's never seen anything like this in her neighborhood. It's shocking, Young said. Makes me a little bit afraid. It's just frightening to think that something like that has happened that close to where you live. She said police have not knocked to ask her any questions, but that she hopes investigators can solve the crime. I bet this is late at night. I still live over here, and I gotta live here. Hey, thanks, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury and Coco Love. I still over here, and I gotta live here, she said. I don't want anything to happen to me. Other onlookers think the suitcase could have been there for an extended period of time. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it probably was if they're decomposed. And the heavy snow totals could have helped hide the crime scene, right? And also, it would have, effectively frozen the bodies, and probably there wasn't any decomp, until it started getting a little bit warmer, and then a dog, was able to scent on it, even though, didn't know what it was smelling. It wasn't like a trained dog like that. Hey, all right, thanks. 1 month by Honey Bee Fly. Other onlookers think the suitcase could have been there for an extended period of time. Okay, Todd asked residents to check their security cameras for anything suspicious. But the problem with this is that who knows how long ago this was. Who the hell knows? All right. Let's do the press conference here. But hey, guys, we need 2 more gifted memberships to reach that goal.
A deceased individual.
Now I fixed the audio in this. Hopefully we can hear all the questions. It was like 2 different mics. One was recording like the audience and the other, so I just kind of... Yeah, it's kind of hard. I think you can still hear the questions and everything.
That was in a shallow
And that's how it started.
grave inside of a suitcase. The officers immediately began their investigation as they canvassed the area for any potential evidence on scene. The officers located what appeared to be a second shallow grave, and they could tell that there was a second suitcase in that location. The officers at that time identified that there was a body inside of that second suitcase as well. The medical examiner's office responded out, and they took custody of the individuals and for their further investigation. So we completed our investigation on scene. The only updates we have at this time are that the individuals are 2 juvenile black females. The one individual is suspected to be anywhere between the ages of 8.5 to 13. The second is estimated to be of the age of 10.5 to 14. At this time, there are no clear indicators of the cause of death of the 2 young females. And we're asking if anyone has any information, saw anything suspicious in the area, that they are to contact the Cleveland Division of Police Homicide Unit at 216-623-5464. We will be operating that line 24 hours a day, so someone will be available to answer those calls. Or they can call Crime Stoppers at 216-252-7463. At this time, we don't know how long the juveniles had been at this location.
Hey, is there any way we could hit that like button really quick, you guys? We only got 75 likes, 247 people only watching, but of course, because we're not, talking about Nancy Guthrie, people just go, yeah. All right, so if you guys could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it.
Was some time, so it's not just something that was recent. The investigation is ongoing. We have to wait for results from the medical examiner, and from there, we should have an update once we have further information. So if you have any questions, we'll open it up.
The body's dismembered.
No.
See, that was where the body is dismembered, no.
And approximately how big are these suitcases if you were to...
I am not going to give that information right now, so the only thing I do ask is if somebody saw something that was suspicious involving something that sounds familiar, I don't want to give certain information out that could tamper the investigation.
Were the 2 victims related?
No, we don't have any identification of either of the victims at this time.
But
Do you have any suspects?
No.
No, you don't have any... Let's see, these people ask questions sometimes that just make you want to... You can't even identify anybody, and then you're saying, do you have any suspects? How's that even, a thing?
Are there missing persons, missing children? That
What's funny is you could even tell they're always a little bit startled by those kind of questions. Like, look at her face after that.
Something that sounds familiar. I don't want to give certain information out that could tamper the investigation.
Were the 2 victims related?
No, we don't have any identification of either of the victims at this
I mean, genealogy might be the answer here.
time.
But there...
Do you have any suspects?
No.
Look at look how she paused. Keep looking over there because she's like, how would we have a suspect? We haven't even identified the 2 in there.
Are there missing persons, missing children that match the 2 girls that were found?
So it's a good question. We have checked our,
Thanks, Pam.
locally, we have no reports of any missing children that match these identifications. We are checking statewide as well. We also have the assistance from our federal, state, and local partners. This is a priority.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that would work great. Dental records. And I would actually, here's what I would do, is I would put the girls into CODIS and see if there's a familial match, because anybody that would do something like this has likely been a criminal before, you would think, right? So maybe they would have their DNA in the CODIS, and then you would know that this is a cousin or something. It's not the same as FGG or IgG, investigative genetic genealogy. They just have the ability to determine if somebody's a relative. Well, they don't know if they're related. They asked that earlier. Are they related? Yeah, I mean, I guess if they knew who they were, they would know if they were related. I mean, you can tell if somebody's related if you test their DNA and it's their siblings, right? You can tell, even if you don't know who they are.
This is a traumatic event for our officers, for the community, and this is just such a tragic incident. Okay. But we're trying to develop any leads we can. That's why we're also asking for the community's help.
I know in last night's press release, you said that the department said there's no ongoing threat to the public. What leads investigators to come to that conclusion?
When we say that,
Yeah, well, here's how. I mean, this isn't one of those cases where there's a home invasion and people were stabbed to death. This is one where there's two girls in suitcases, and that seems like it's very likely that that's whoever did that is probably somebody closely related to them, and there's a reason they were doing it. I mean, it wouldn't make me scared. If I lived right there, I'd be like, oh, God, this is creepy. But I don't know if I'd be scared to live there until an arrest was made, because you know, it's not one of those. It's just kind of clear, just generally, it's not like some weird serial killer running around. You got two little girls here, and apparently they haven't even been. There's nobody be reported missing, so it's going to end up. This is going to be one of those cases, I bet, that likely ends up being the parents or a family member related to those two kids.
that it's more, we know that this didn't just happen. We still have to develop exactly when this happened, and we don't have any indication that there's a clear threat to safety.
Can you give any sort of update on the condition of the visor? And I know you said it's been some time, this isn't something that just happened, but any sort of...
So right now, the only thing we could say, there's no clear indicators, so there's nothing that's visible enough to determine what the cause of death was.
We had heard, Chief, that perhaps these children were malnourished.
If they can't tell what the cause of death is, I mean, man, that means they're...
Clear indicators, so there's nothing that's visible enough to determine what the cause
Right, I'm just wondering if they're really decomposed in there, and it's hard to just tell.
of death was.
We had heard, Chief, that perhaps these...
I think it's going to be strangulation or, like asphyxiation. I don't know how easily that is to be able to be determined if you're highly decomposed.
were malnourished. Is that something that you heard as well?
I don't have a comment on that. I would defer to the
See, malnourished is what they just talked about. She doesn't have a comment on it.
medical examiner once their results come out.
Were the individuals clothed?
I will also defer to the medical examiner on that at this time.
Was there any identification inside the suitcase or name on a shirt, like a kid's shirt, or anything that would lead you to...
Unfortunately, we have no indicators right now of the identity of the children involved.
Should we believe that they're local? Or do
We
not know that?
can't even determine that at this time.
Can you kind of describe that neighborhood to us? Is there often foot traffic in that area where the bodies
Yeah,
are
so
found?
the caller in this incident was just a resident from the area who was walking their dog through the area. This is a field close to the school over there. This is just a residential neighborhood that I'm sure a lot of people do frequent. The weather has been, changing recently. The snow's been thawing, so it's really hard to determine the length of time at this point.
There are some businesses around there with cameras that appear to be pointing. I don't know how far they go, but have you been gathering some of that evidence?
Yeah, so our detectives have been out there actively walking the neighborhoods and gathering the information. The difficult part is that timeline, how far you have to look back.
Right, I mean, how you don't know. I mean, they might be able to use satellite imagery, because it looked like one of them was right on the edge. If they happen to, Apollo mapping, or somebody has a satellite image there, you might be able to say, well, look, that wasn't disturbed at this point, so we know it's after this.
And a lot of cameras don't capture historical data, so we are currently still canvassing for that. So if someone has cameras and they want to, just do a cursory review to see if they have anything suspicious, we please let us know and give us a call.
For anyone watching this story, and you want people to come forward who may have seen something suspicious, what are some things that, should set off an alarm and they should contact you about?
Anything that you see that's out of the ordinary. Did you see anyone spending a significant amount of time in that area? Someone who seems out of sorts to your neighborhood. Usually in residential areas, what's happening in your neighborhood. Something just seems a little bit off. That's why we're asking that anyone who has anything that they believe to be information directly related to or suspicious, that they give us a call.
Chief, we had heard that the FBI and perhaps U.S. Marshals were out searching yesterday. Does that search have anything to do with these missing individuals?
No, that's not connected.
Are you working with any other agencies in this? Maybe the FBI, maybe, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, anything like that?
We are working with all of our federal, state, and local partners. From Department of Children and Family Services to CMSD to the FBI, this is a priority investigation.
As far as your knowledge, have you had any other cases here locally similar to this where children were found in suitcases or missing peoples or anything like this before?
Not that I'm aware.
I don't know. I count out I'm not gonna. I don't think it's the finder, Richard Watts. I mean, you can always say that. Oh, don't count out the finder. But it was like the guy was walking, his dog ran over there, alerted to something, and then he looks at it. Why would anybody want to say, "Hey, look"? It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially like this. I mean, it's been already a long period of time.
Chief, can you describe, when it involves children, it takes this crime to another level.
It does.
Can you talk about that?
So when you look at that, you have an individual who's a resident who locates the trauma that happens right there, and at the end of the day, our officers are just regular people, and their parents, and it's something that a lot of officers never have to experience. We hope they would never have to experience, and it's traumatic for everyone. And it's traumatic just for those who live in the area to know that this was right there outside their doorstep.
Should people be on heightened alert in and around this area?
I think all residents should always be cautious to the ongoings of their neighborhoods, just keeping alert for anything that is suspicious and always reporting it. We can't do police work alone. It takes the community to be a part of that, to call us, to let us know if something in their neighborhood is suspicious that needs, something for us to take a further look at.
Have you been in contact with, CMSD, any local schools, things like that, working with their principals?
We're working with everybody, yeah.
Can I ask, and you say you don't want to give away too many details, but the brand of suitcase, perhaps?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, but because of the integrity of the investigation, I just can't give those specifics at this time. And as soon as we develop more leads or we have additional information, we will keep you updated. As soon as, the coroner's office has more for us, we will keep you updated on that information. We just the most important thing is misinformation gets out there quickly, and we want to clarify exactly what we know at this time. The delay in, us giving the update is because this is it's a sensitive investigation, and there wasn't a lot to go on at this point, so we want to give you as much factual information that we have as soon as we could.
Are there any solid leads right now?
No.
Can I ask, and you may not be able to give it, but can you classify how badly decomposed these bodies were? Was it a great amount? Obviously, that's going to impact the investigation.
Well, I'm going to leave it to the coroner's determination because they take custody of the bodies, and, they're doing their review right now, so they will probably provide that update when they're complete.
So, Chief, what is your next steps?
As far as?
Where do you go from here? What will you do shortly after this news conference?
So I can tell you that, one, we're establishing a 24-hour response line. Our investigators, not just on this investigation, but on many, they spend countless days, nights, hours, whatever it takes, sleepless nights on this investigation. We are working with all of our partners. We are we're canvassing, we're talking to people, and the best thing is to find answers. It's just terrible, horrific situation.
Do you have any idea how long it'll take the medical examiner's office to
We don't. I don't want to talk about their timelines, but hopefully we'll have something soon.
When do you anticipate the next update?
As soon as we have something more. We want to make sure that we keep the community updated, but I'm giving you what we have right now. So as soon as we have something further, but again, I encourage anyone, if they saw anything suspicious, if they know anything related to, kids that are missing, that they please call us. And, that's the most important thing. 216-623-5464. Someone will be responding.
Yeah, these are two black children between the ages of, below the age of 14 and older than 8. Something like that. And they're in suitcases, like or 2 suitcases. One of them appear to be, it was weird. I was looking at Google Earth, looking at that, just going, wow. I mean, it almost, it looks like 2 graves there, but that isn't what that is. And obviously, it's, this is Google Earth, so it's 2023. All right, let's see. There was another article right here.
Breaking news alert.
We continue to follow breaking news, and we want to warn you, this story is graphic. The bodies of 2 young girls found buried in suitcases near Guinea.
This is channel, WBRC 6 News.
Academy. Thanks for joining us for 19 News at 3. I'm Nicole Versansky. Brittany, we're joining us live outside Cleveland Police Headquarters. Brittany, the chief just gave an update, so what did she say?
Yes, the Cleveland Police Chief Dorothy Todd just held a press conference that wrapped up about 45 minutes ago. She told us that this is a priority investigation. Cleveland Police found 2 young black girls dead inside of suitcases on Cleveland's east side. Both of them are believed to be younger than 14 years old, with one of them as young as 8. Cleveland police were called to a field near East 162nd in Midland Avenue just after 6 Monday evening, after a man walking his dog made the grim discovery. Officers say the dog picked up a scent in the area and the man immediately called 911. When homicide detectives arrived, they found not 1, but 2 suitcases, each containing the body of a young girl. Both were partially walking his dog, made the grim discovery. Officers say the dog picked up a scent in the area and the man immediately called 911.
Yeah, so it's right around this part here, I think. Let me see. I think that might have been done right here. It's hard to say, but I think they're standing down there, but I don't think that's not the location.
When homicide detectives arrived, they found...
Yeah, so that's interesting right here. That's that's the grave right there. Right here. I mean, see, it's right on the edge of the property. I think I'm going to take a screenshot of that one. But hey, if you guys are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, I'd appreciate it. Nobody's required to do anything, but if you can, that'd be great. Channel membership's a good option.
Not 1, but 2 suitcases, each containing the body of a young girl.
I'm just saving these out.
Both were partially buried in shallow graves. Authorities believe one victim was between 8.5 and 13 years old. The other between 10.5 and 14. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner has taken custody of the bodies to determine the cause of death. Police Chief Dorothy Todd said the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner has taken custody of the bodies to determine the cause of death. Police Chief Dorothy Todd said there were no obvious signs of how they died. However, they believe the bodies have been there for some time.
Locally, we have no reports of any missing children that match these identifications. We are checking statewide as well. We also have the assistance from our federal, state, and local partners. This is a priority. This is a traumatic event for our officers, for the community, and this is just such a tragic incident, but we are trying to develop any leads we can.
And police want to remind everyone that this is still the early stages of this investigation. They also say there is still no threat to the public. They're being adamant about that, even though police admitted that they have no suspects, no leads, and they don't know if these two girls were related. Live
It kind of reminds me of that one over, I think it was in Indiana. Remember that again, it was another black girl found in a suitcase way out in, and it was like her mother and somebody else put her out there, and then they eventually were able to figure it out. They made the arrest in that one. I know, they always go, just yesterday a blimp landed in eastern Oregon. Scientists say it was just ZZ McLeod jumping out of an airplane. Yeah, why do they always have that same cadence? Exactly. It's just absolutely crazy, you know. I saw a frog jump off a wall today. It landed on the ground right next to my foot. The person next to me said that, you know what I mean? It's just, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you know what would be weird is to be in a romantic relationship with somebody like that. You look very nice today. Would you like to go to sleep right now? Yes, I would. Thank you very much. You know, it'd be pretty strange, right? I mean, I don't know how that would actually work. I think it would just be total, what are you doing later this evening? I'd like you to come over. Oh, that'd be great. Fantastic. We'll see you around 8. Back to you, Jim. Yeah, okay. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Hey, look at that. We got the Wild Bill Wassman. Thank you. Now, let's take a look at this one here. Bodies found on east side. 2 unidentified girls. A man walking his dog called police after discovering one of 2 suitcases buried in shallow graves.
This is a priority, and, you know,
last night, the day in the neighborhood trying to get more answers, and Jonathan, this is a tough one for every.
Yeah, it's, hold on.
Everybody involved.
Like that, I guess.
Yeah, Damon, that is for sure. The police chief tells us both of these young girls' bodies were found intact in 2 separate suitcases in this park behind me, just along the fence line. You can see the red markers.
Okay, yeah.
And now the race is on to figure out.
Walsh and I spent the day in the neighborhood trying to get more answers, and Jonathan, this is a tough one for everybody involved.
Yeah, Damon, that is for sure. The police chief tells us both of these young girls' bodies were found intact in 2 separate suitcases in this park behind me, just along.
All right, well, we should be able to figure that out now. I would think it would be, yeah, right over here. So there, it is a little bit closer to the left side, it looks like. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell how far it is on the right in there, but yeah, you can see this building, I think, is right there with no trucks in front of it, maybe. Nah, I don't know. Let's see if we go down. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. You know, those are just trucks. I mean, isn't that weird? Like, that is literally almost exactly the same. Like, that's literally a part of the cab, you know, not the cab, the trailer part right here of a truck. And look how it's perfectly exactly the same right there. And so because we have that, and we can see, let's see. So that means it's probably closer to, well, let's see that slope mountain in the back. So you could see that mountain back there, you could see that through it. So it does seem like it's more over here. Right around in like that area, something closer to there.
Along the fence line, you can see the red markers. And now the race is on to figure out who they are.
What was the
in
deal
two
over there?
separate
There's red
suitcases
markers
in
right
this
over
park
there, too,
behind me, just along the fence line. You can see the red mark.
See, there's red markers right over here, too.
Markers. And now the race is on to figure out who they are and how they got here. Police were very active at the scene, sending up drones, taking measurements and pictures of the shallow holes where the suitcases were found.
At this time, we don't know how long the medical examiner.
In an exclusive interview with News 5 investigators, Philip Donaldson, who made the discovery while walking his dog, says it looked like piled up soil in the field.
That's the guy right here.
Made the discovery.
The medical examiner.
In an exclusive interview with News 5 investigators, Philip Donaldson, who made the discovery while walking his dog, says it looked like piled up soil in the field.
It's really sad to see something like this. And I had been walking past that for at least a week, that pile of dirt for at least a week.
Cleveland's police chief says the bodies are both black girls between the ages of 8.5 to 13 years old, and the other is between 10.5 and 14 years old. She says there was no clear indication of how these girls died or if they are from Cleveland. She doesn't know if they're related, and there were no local missing children matching their descriptions, so police are using more local, state, and federal resources to help their investigation. We found buildings nearby with video cameras, and the chief encourages people who have their own cameras to look through their video to see if anything can help the case. She says,
Thanks, Crowley. Yes, this is on the other side.
police have been canvassing the neighborhoods, talking to people, but right now there are no solid leads and no suspects in the investigation so far.
You know what's happening in your neighborhood. Something just seems a little bit off. That's why we're asking that anyone who has anything that they believe to be information directly related to or suspicious that they give us a call.
I bet they drove right over here like this. I bet you money
So,
that
if
they
you
did
have
that.
any information about this, you are...
I bet you $1 million that this person turned in... Let's take a look. Yeah, they drove right into here at... I don't know if it... I don't think it... let's take a look at this. Yeah, I guess it's one thing if these shut or not. I don't know if there's something that closes. I don't know. But I would bet you anything that they drove all the way around over here and parked right there and then put the suitcases over here, then went out and left the same way. I bet money on it. Because this is too... You know, what do you do? Let's see. Is there also? I mean, it's kind of similar. If you could drive up this road here, yeah. I mean, so I guess they could do that. You know, drive up the same way. It's the same thing, though. It goes into the same area. But they drove to here to put the bodies here. There's no way in hell they drove over here and then walked across, and then you want to put them somewhat close to where you came through. Now, you might, you know, some people might think they came through the back here, but then why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just put them right in the middle of the woods there? I think they came in from either there or here, and then parked here, dug a few holes, and then put their, you know, probably late at night too, you know, 2, 3 in the morning kind of thing, where nobody's looking, no lights on, dug some really sort of rudimentary hole, put the bodies in there. Thank you, Cheryl Bullock. That's interesting, though, isn't it? Yeah, because you can drive, if you drive right down to the end of that, you're right next to where you could... There's no street view here, but you can actually go down and it thinks it's street view, but look, you're just right there. See? I just showed you where the suitcases were found. What the hell are you talking about? That's what we've been talking about for 20 minutes. You sound like the ones asking the questions at the press conference. Okay, well then hit rewind and check it out. Yeah, right here. You see? It's right there.
Are encouraged to call Cleveland Police at a 24-hour hotline that it has set up, 216-623-5464, or Crime
I mean, it's
Stoppers
even on the
at
screen when you showed up.
212-252-7463. There is a...
Do you need me to put, body in suitcase? And then there was another one, it seemed like, maybe right there. And I bet you that one here was found first. This one. Because, you'd walk a dog here and it darts over. Maybe it was in the, I guess it could have been in the park, but. And then just right next to it, there's disturbed dirt. Well, maybe it was this one because he said it was disturbed dirt. And you can see the disturbed dirt in the actual grass in that one picture where the other markers seem to be more off into the bushes a little bit. Maybe we can go back and look at that again.
Yeah, Damon, that is for sure. The police chief tells us both of these young girls' bodies were found intact in two separate suitcases in this park behind me, just along the fence line. You can see the red markers. And now the race is on to figure out who they are and how they got here.
Anybody up for doing another challenge in there somewhere? Started off okay, but now we're sort of we're only at 33% still.
Police were very active at the scene, sending up drones, taking measurements and pictures of the shallow holes where the suitcases were found.
At this time, we don't know how long the juveniles had been at this
Oh, and the video yesterday brought in $28 in ad revenue. That's what I told you. That's what it would be.
location. It was some time, so it's not just something that was recent. The investigation is ongoing.
Well, I just told you they dug the holes quickly, but I mean, it's never quick to be digging holes. So it might have been 15, 20 minutes.
We have to wait for results from the medical examiner.
In an exclusive interview with News 5 investigators, Philip Donaldson, who made the discovery while walking his dog, says it looked like piled up soil in the field.
It's really sad to see something like this. And I had been walking past that for at least a week, that pile of dirt for at least a week.
Cleveland's police chief says the bodies are both black girls between the ages of 8.5 to 13 years old, and the other is between 10.5 and 14 years old. She says there was no clear in holes where this to figure out act in two separate suitcases in this park behind me, just along the fence line. You can see the red markers.
Yeah, see right there. See that? I think those are 3 more markers, and that's more into the woods. Yeah, I think that's the key photograph right there. See, I think you got right here 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, just like that.
And now the race is on to figure out.
Let's see what it says in the article itself. On Monday night, Cleveland police said 2 bodies had been found in East 162nd Street and Midland Avenue. This afternoon, they confirmed the deceased are unidentified girls, possibly between 8 and 14 years of age. During a press conference on Tuesday afternoon, Cleveland Police Chief Annie Todd said their bodies were found inside suitcases buried in shallow graves. It's a horrible, horrific situation, Todd said. According to Todd, both girls are black and one appears to be between 8.5. I mean, how do you get 8.5? I mean, that's just... and 13 years old, and the other between 10.5 and 14. At this time, there is no clear indication of the cause of death, how long the girls were here or there, or any possible suspects. There are no missing children in the area who match their description, said Todd. Oh, yeah. I got the FOIA request back in the Idaho case, but it just seems like, I don't know, I didn't really get what I was asking for. But hey, guys, any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? I was hoping not to have a night where I'm having to ask, but we've had this massive pause, and we were doing okay at the beginning, but now we're back in struggle mode. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that would be great. My channel actually relies on the people watching who appreciate what we do here, and that's how we're able to do all the great stuff we do outside of. In fact, I just heard from Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick today, who said that just a second. She said, you aren't going to believe this, but we are going to do another extraction on the torso. That's the one in Indiana that I helped figure out where the grave was. We hope to get enough human DNA to move forward. And then we'll do Volusia. If that works, then we'll go to the Volusia case, because that one is, that's the one where the stolen bike and the kid was like shaved from the waist down, etc. That one. All right. So if you guys have the ability, please help support the channel, and let's make it a night where I don't have to ask. All right. Wouldn't that be great? Thank you. Police are gathering information and surveillance footage from the area and establishing 24-hour response line for any tips. Anyone with information should call the Cleveland Police Homicide Unit at 216-623-5464. News 5 spoke with a witness on Monday night who said that a head was visible in a suitcase. Todd said during the press conference that the bodies were not dismembered, echoing what she reached out and told News 5 earlier in the day. After our initial report quoted a witness who said he saw a head. Yeah. You see how you get these idiots that show up right like this? Hey, Lori, take a hike. We don't need people like you. You're just one of those closet trolls that come in. Good luck. Yeah. What a clown. Jesus. I think people like you come in and intentionally disrupt the show. And looks like you're letting the trolls win, everybody. You're letting the trolls win. Look at that. Even after I just went through the whole spiel, told you how we need the support on the channel, not a soul. Just dead as a doornail. Anyone with information should call the Cleveland Police Homicide Unit 216-623-5464. News 5 spoke with a witness on Monday night who said that a head was visible in a suitcase. The witness was walking his dog when he said he found the suitcase, prompting a call to police. So here's the actual spot right there. See that? It was like a pile of dirt, and she stopped to sniff. I usually just walk, and she catch up with me, and she was taking too long. So I went back and looked at it. It was a suitcase that was half buried, and I pulled it up and looked in it. And it was a head, somebody's head in it. Philip Donaldson told News 5 Scott Knoll. You know, here's what I think, you guys. When I'm doing a show, and I'm just spent 20 minutes talking about showing exactly where and trying to find where the bodies were, and then somebody comes in and says, hey, where were the bodies? And if you're a new person that just showed up, well, how about you not be as rude and just go back and rewind a little bit, maybe watch the beginning part and see where we're at. Because I think it's incredibly rude just to come in and act like the whole show needs to stop and recap just for you when you came in late. I don't know what it is, but that just absolutely drives me nuts. I think you guys do that shit on purpose. Really, honestly. I would never go do that. Go into some show 35, 40 minutes in and go, hey, where's the... You know, I'd take some time and try to figure it out because they probably went over it 75 times already. All right, so if you can't deal with that, then get the hell out, man. That's just crazy to me that you think that somehow it's me saying, yeah, we've already gone over this. It's right here on the screen even. It says right there on the screen, even after you're asking it. It says it right there. I mean, it's amazing. Thanks, Alley Cake and Wild Bill. I mean, I literally, this is what was on the screen. Maybe it didn't say suitcase. It said bodies here. And the person goes, hey, where'd they find the bodies? How about you look at the screen, for God's sakes? All right? I mean, how did you get out of grade school, for God? I mean, it's just unbelievable. God, they're just crazy people. Anyways, thanks, Alley Cake and Wild Bill Wassman. Be great to get another challenge going where we're having shades of last night. Donaldson said he was completely shocked and disturbed, especially since there is a school, the GINN Academy, nearby. It's really sad to see something like this, and I had been walking past that for at least a week. That pile of dirt for at least a week before, I even just went across my mind and I check it. Was it buried? Yeah, it was buried pretty much. You could see just the very top of it. I wonder if how an animal or whatnot got in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it was a suitcase, so it doesn't really explain why it's small. Yeah. Let's see. Discovery and you know, it's hard to tell the size, I've been thinking, because there's really nothing to compare it to when you're looking at it. Yeah, well, it's also kind of weird that it was on. Why not just go through the woods and put the bodies over here? If they had put the bodies over right there, they'd probably never, you know, who knows if they'd ever be found. But instead, you put them on the baseball field in an area on the edge of the field with wide open views to, like, homes over here. Everywhere. You know? I mean, there's people all around that could have somehow seen you. But, you know, you do it at 3 in the morning, and maybe, you know, it's just, you got to admit, like, it's just a weird place. Because it's in the middle of the city, too. Look at this. Why didn't you, for example, I mean, I guess that's a thing that we could try to wonder about, or why wouldn't you do that? I mean, did you want them to be, I mean, I don't know, you buried them in a suitcase. Yeah, it seems like, though, I mean, they don't know how long these have been there for. You know? Mm-hmm. Hey, thanks, Kathy, for the PayPal. Appreciate it. Oh, oops. I just went with the name that was in there. But anyways, thanks. I don't know if that's the same. I was looking at the in here. Well, I didn't say the last name, so there you go. So thanks, Harley Ryder. Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking of, based on where they're at, if they live somewhere around here, but I don't think they rolled anything. That'd be ludicrous. I think they probably drove. I mean, you never know, right? But I think they more likely drove over here and then sort of. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, shit. I guess there's no. It just seems like it'd be crazy to be walking down the street rolling a suitcase with a body in it. But, I mean, I guess if it's late at night and you sort of live around there, could you have taken the bodies over one at a time over different nights? Put one here, notice nobody noticed anything, so did it another one, and I don't know. Sure, it's not very common though, Crowley. But yeah, I mean the fact that it's in, at this particular school. Well, I mean, what's Gin Academy? I guess we could look that up. Doesn't look like it's kept up very well. Thank you, Deco Trash. So, anybody up for starting another challenge of some sort? Yeah, I guess that's it. I think that right there is right here. Let's see. It's an elementary school. Well, that's interesting. It's an elementary school, and then there's two kids that are elementary school age-ish. I mean, pretty close, like 8th grade or younger, right? So it's an elementary school, and it's in the baseball or / softball field here that they don't keep up worth a damn. I mean, it is sort of interesting, isn't it? Maybe kids that would have gone to that school. Why would you? I mean, it is kind of weird, right? That they're buried at a school that would have kids about the exact same age range, from 8 to 14. Don't you think that's strange? You're at an elementary school, which is really, 8 to 14. And here you have two bodies found in the baseball field area of a school. And they're that age group. Yeah, something a little strange. Hey, thanks again, Deco Trash. Yeah, it's like we already went over that. It's just some sort of I don't know, place where it almost looks like a gravel pit or something. I don't think that. I mean, the fact that they're found on this side, I think means that they came in from over here or just drove right down this street, parked here, put their bodies there, and got the hell out of there. I don't think this has anything to do with it. I think if it did have something to do with it, it seems like you would have just brought him back right in this corner and put him in the woods back there. I don't know. I don't think you would just. I mean, this is one of those confusing ones too. It is weird that they just put him here. Why not drive 75 miles away and put him someplace you'd never find? I mean, these areas are a hell of a lot more rural than right in the middle of the city here. No, it isn't, Karen. That's not what we said, Karen. It's just interesting that you have two bodies found at a school that's age range is exactly the same age range of these two girls here. Now, does that have any significance? I mean, it is just kind of interesting. Something to keep in mind. Is there an association with the school But if they're malnourished, maybe that's a school they used to go to, and then they were buried here, almost like to be, I don't know. That's like close to the friends that they used to go to school with or something. Maybe they went to the school at some point. I mean, that's just it's just mildly interesting. Okay, right now we're currently at 37% of the nightly goal, you guys. Does that mean anything? I don't know how to put on a better show. I'm just do what I do. And
let's bring in now anchor Damon Maloney. Damon, I know you were out there in the neighborhood.
I saw police at the scene to understand how the two young girls could have ended up
really unsettling, right outside your home.
And right now, not a lot of answers from authorities. And Katie, the fact that we're talking about two young girls found in this manner, it is sparking a different level of anger. People living and working in that South Collinwood community, they hope that there can be some measure of justice, and quickly.
Right around the corner from me, yes. Very much concerning.
James Buchanan is struggling to understand how the two young girls could have ended up dead in the neighborhood he's called home for 29 years.
It's just crime everywhere. I don't know what we're going to do better, but we got to do something soon.
I saw police at the crime scene up until about noon.
Well, I'd put the kids into CODIS. That's what I would do. Oh man, you guys are having Wild Bill Wassman do another challenge. Somebody else couldn't have done it, huh? All right, we got it though. Here we go. We got a challenge by Wild Bill Wassman. He'll gift 5 memberships if 5 other people randomly gift 1. All right, and that should get us to about 50, I don't know, 7 or 8%. So if you guys can do that, that'd be great. Apparently when I ask, it just, so there is the challenge. If we get 5 gifted memberships, Wild Bill Wassman will give 5 all by himself if 5 of you just do 1. No, it's not, Elena.
Next to Ginn Academy.
Well, my son called me this morning.
So it is Ginn.
Telling me what was going on.
The visuals and trickle of information about the case, a chilling reminder of how...
Thanks, Toy Airy. Man, how long have you been around here for? I think you've been around since, Kanika Jenkins days, right? I mean, or at least Delphi, something.
How deeply crime ripples across a community. Erica Allen's son asked to be picked up from school early, which she came to do.
I just want to keep him in a bubble, but you can't do that.
And as I drove around the neighborhood, there were a lot of businesses.
I feel kind of messed up because it's 2 young kids from what I heard.
Alan Harrison owns Al's Home Repair, and he too showed up to Ginn Academy to pick up his grandson early.
He, didn't feel comfortable being in the school today.
Alan told me with so many businesses in the area, he is hoping that they might be able to provide footage that could potentially help police.
There's a lot of cameras, so hopefully something like that can help.
While many questions remain, everyone I
if they have a subscription, it goes out on the cloud, so it should
spoke with agreed that the young girls deserve someone fighting for them nonstop, and they want anyone with information to do the right thing and share it with police.
You hope police are able to piece this together.
All right, guys, we got a challenge up there by Wild Bill Wassman. He'll gift 5 all by himself if just 4 more of you now just gift 1 channel membership. That'll help support the channel. So it's 2 for 1 on your part.
Gather and bring some closure to the families?
Yes. I hope so.
Now, we spoke about those cameras at businesses potentially being able to help, but as I was out going around that community today, I also noticed many homes with surveillance cameras, so check them. Take a moment, check them. If anything looks out of the ordinary, just any little thing, be sure to contact police.
Yeah. Right around the corner from me, very much concerning, Buchanan said. It's just crime everywhere. I don't know what we're going to do to do better, but we've got to do something soon. My son called me this morning telling me what was going on, and I wish it wasn't happening at all. The visuals and trickle of information about the case are a chilling reminder of how deeply crime ripples across the community. I just want to keep them in a bubble. Yeah, I think we just read that stuff. Community leaders pushing for change, extremely devastating. I was there last night when they found the first one, and then I was there when they found the second one, he said. I still don't know right now who they are because I have not been informed. I had a meeting today at 1 o'clock with the safety director who couldn't tell me anything. Then they had a news conference at 1:30. Didn't say much more, but was not invited to that. To say the least, I'm very upset about the lack of respect, not only to myself as the councilman, but also as chairman of public safety. All right, we got 2 of the 5, you guys. We need 3 more people to help support the channel with gifted channel memberships to reach the challenge by Wild Bill Wassman. I think, yeah, I would put I would put both of their DNA into CODIS and then see if there's a criminal that they're related to. But first you could just do a DNA test and see if they're related to each other. You know, okay, now we know that we've got sisters here. Now, if they're not related, it really makes I mean, I think, don't you just in your mind assume that they're related? I mean, naturally, like, oh, these are siblings. And that would make more sense. If they're not related, then it's a much different type of story, I think. Like, if there's no relationship at all, then you got something a little different here. Because then you're just sort of left wondering, well, how the hell is there 2 different people missing out there? And nobody said anything. Secondly, why were they killed? You could see a scenario where there was 2 abused children in a home and they weren't being fed, and so they ended up killing them and then disposing of their bodies. But they'd be related at that point. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Very kind, very kind. And Jim Wan. Very cool. Thank you. Well, I guess they did it. Yeah, man, thanks, guys. Why would it be money related? How's money associated with it? Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be something like, I guess we're all just randomly, I'm just wondering when you say money, in what way? How about that? Let me ask you that. So in what way is money related to this? If not related, my next thought is foster adopted kids. Yeah, that's not a bad one there. Foster kids that would, in that case, they might not be related. So they could be foster kids that were brought in for the financial gain. I guess that would be maybe what you're talking about. Or, maybe they were brought in, kind of like the Hart family, right? Remember that case? Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. So maybe it's like the Hart family case where 2 people, or a person is getting money from the state to take care of kids, but doesn't give them any food, and then they end up dying, and then they put them over there. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna just check you can do really quick tests on them to see if they're related. I mean, tomorrow we should know if they're related or not. Now, IgG is difficult with to do in the black community because there's not a large representation there might be a decent representation on a place like Ancestry or 23andMe. I guess they're out of business now, but there really isn't a large group of diversity on GEDmatch, where you literally have to download your raw data from 23andMe or Ancestry and then upload it to a different platform for use by random people to do some genealogy searches. All right, so that's where it's kind of makes it difficult. But you still can. As a matter of fact, I think Identifiers had somebody working there that's an expert on that particular angle. That's right. Welcome to all the new freaks out there. Now, if you're one of the people that shows up here from the troll community to get free memberships, shame on you. You're an embarrassment. If you're not one of those, thank you. Welcome. No money is related. I think it's sibling so much so that I would be... Oh, you would bet money. Oh, I see. I guess I just totally misread what you said. I would bet money on Oh, I see. That's weird. I just totally read that totally differently in my head. Yeah, it doesn't. Nothing really works like that. You have to, be one of the channels that gets like ungodly numbers of viewers, etc. Oh my God, tools are horrible? I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Oh, you mean the trolls that do that? Yeah. Wow, you're not familiar with the Hart family? Yeah. We covered that one. The Hart family case it should have been huge, but it really wasn't. It was just like me, and then some people were like, oh, that's interesting, so they kind of just jumped on the bandwagon. But it was like the Hart family was Devontae Hart. He had this famous picture in Portland, Oregon, where he took a picture with a cop during... some of those riot protesting. I think seems like a 2019 or so. And then God, what were their names? Sarah and I can't remember the other one's name. The two mothers, they're a lesbian couple who adopted children from Texas, and Texas pays like, I don't know, $1,000 or $2,000 a month per child. So they got 5 kids over there, and they were living high on the hog. I mean, absolutely stuffing themselves like pigs, and they looked like pigs in real life. And they didn't give any of the food to the 5 or 6 children that they had. Didn't give them anything. They were starving. And so a couple times the kids would run over to the neighbor's house begging for food. And then one time one of them the neighbors called CPS, and then they sort of lied, etc., and got out of it. Then on a final night, I think it was Devontae, he got some peanut butter and stuff, and he was just like trying to get from the neighbor, trying to get food for their kid. It makes me want to, I've got teary-eyed thinking about this, because these kids were so hungry, just hungry, and these pigs just sat there stuffing themselves, and these kids said nothing. They were withering away, bones walking. And then the same neighbor that they didn't call CPS. They told the father, their father, this old guy. So he eventually, he goes, we got to call these people up, CPS. So they called up, and then, the ball got rolling, and then there was another incident that happened, and then CPS left a note on the door at the Hart family case. The other one was at work. They came home. They gathered up all the kids, put them in a van, because now the jig was up that these two, really sort of hippie, hard lefty, stupid ass, lesbian individuals who gamed the system for money. The jig was up with these guys. So they loaded them up all in a car, and they drove down to California. They got like sleeping medicine and stuff, gave it to the kids, and then can't remember the other one's name, not Sarah, but she drove them off a cliff into the ocean. And they found remnants, the foot of some, parts of everybody's bodies over months, and then they never found Devontae Hart, which I think they killed him differently in another place because he was the one that gave up the goods on them. That case is so disgusting. It makes me, I just want to vomit, Yeah, so there you go. That's I made tons of videos on it back in the day. You could probably find them. Hello. All right, you guys. We're currently now at about 60% of the nightly goal. So if you guys are out there and somebody wants to do another challenge or so, we might get into a realm where we might make it. All right. So if you guys have the ability, that would be fantastic. And thanks, Wild Bill Wassman, again for your efforts. Yeah, I think it's literally one of the worst cases that I've ever covered. I think it's worse than the Turpins. It's worse than the... It's just because they abuse these two white lesbian, wannabe left-wing radical nutjobs who would go to all these little events like hippies and shit. I mean, just really crazy. They adopted, I can't remember if it was 5, I think it was maybe 6 kids that were, I think they were like black and Hispanic kind of combination. And it was just, they just used them for the money. That was it. They had no love at all in them. Sarah seemed like she was sort of gave a damn a little bit, but not really, The other one was a freaking monster. Yeah. And I'm not saying this to, like, if you happen to be liberal out there, you're probably legit. These people were fake, and they knew that once people saw the reality that the jig would be up. Yeah, remember that when they get up on the stage, the Hayama, yeah. He's got that stupid outfit on that he's got. Hey, thanks, Carrie Summers. Hey, why don't you guys try to match Carrie Summers right there? All right, thank you. %66% now. I wonder how familiar with the area the perp would have to be. They took away the opportunity for a good family to adopt. Right. Well, here's the one. You want to hear the saddest part of that one? I don't remember which child it was. I think it was but they were being taken care of by the grandmother, and because the grandmother let the mother visit one time, they took the kids from the grandmother, put them into the system to be gobbled up by the Hart family. Just psychos, man. I mean, just... When you look at the photographs that they took of the Hart family case, you guys, the refrigerators were filled with meats and cheeses. They had wines, they had all this stuff. And the kids got nothing. They didn't get to eat anything. What would make it... I mean... Here's the thing, you guys. Just think about that for a moment. That you adopted these kids. They weren't even foster kids. I think they adopted them, but the state pays the money. I don't remember if they're to be honest, I don't remember if they were foster or adopted, but it doesn't matter. Just think about it, that they filled their fridge and they had food everywhere, and these kids withered away into bones. One of them didn't even grow. She was so little because she was stunted. And imagine a person that would sit there knowing that they have all this food sitting there, and they don't even give any to anybody. They just sit there and watch every day knowing that they're hungry. What was the rationale in their minds? That means these people were monsters, you guys. They didn't give a shit about those kids at all. There was nothing they went to sleep happy and full bellies, where the kids sat there starving to death. Think about how sick that is. That's why that case is one of the ones I think that should be made a bigger deal out of. Those two parents are the sickest people I've ever seen. They didn't suffer themselves at all. I mean, you should have seen it. There was really hardly any toys for the kids either. It was just immaculately set up for them. And screw the kids. And they had all the kids do all these cliche, stupid, I don't even, I get angry. Thanks, Deanna Owens. Yeah, unbelievable. And thanks for the kind words there, Carrie Summers. Gray does great work. He's worth it. Well, there you go. Thank you. That's what I hope on a nightly basis, that people think that way. But, it's really not covered much at all. It wasn't at the time, remember? And it still isn't. It was just incredible. We covered it awesome. Like, we had, got the helicopter footage of when they pulled the car up. I could tell you what rocket hit on the ground. And we figured out what they did immediately. It was crazy. Like, the whole thing, we just worked through it. And I told you, in that case, I said what was going to be the case from the get-go, without even having any knowledge of anything. I just go, let's see. And as soon as we got just the details of it, that they drove them off the cliff, we just immediately put it all together. It was pretty crazy, without having any probable cause documents or anything. I think it was when they were still, people didn't even know about the case until they were, off the cliff, and they found the bodies down there. Hey, hey. Oh, if it's 8675309 was here, she'd remember the name of the original. Or Zozo probably would too. Yeah, they had the vehicle they had a coroner's inquest on it, where they went through all the facts of the case. Just to give answers to people. And the answers are not pretty. It's just the sickest thing you've ever seen. I wish they had lived, the two parents. And then I think it would be justifiable to put them in a prison cell and don't feed them for like 6 months. That's how they should do punishment like that. Hey, thank you, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. So they knew she accelerated. Yeah. Well, you could just see that she. We figured that out on our own. Remember? Like all the stuff, it was so cool. Once the coroner's inquest came in, it was like, oh yeah. And that was months later. That wasn't right after. Yeah, she got like this the sleeping Sudafed or something, and gave it to people. And I guess they were mainly passed out. I bet you Sarah wasn't even awake. I think she might have actually drugged everybody. Pulled a miniature. What's the name of that? I can't remember. The guy in. Where was it? God, I can't remember. He killed. There was like 1,200 people that drank cyanide. I don't know why the name of it's not popping into my head. James Jones. There you go. I just came up with it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna type it in now. Yeah. Okay. James Jones. Like a miniature version. Probably drugged them all up, but she didn't do it herself, and then drove them off the cliff. I knew you guys would all type it in. Look at that. That's hilarious. Right. See how I counted 5, 4. None of you had typed anything in, even when I was saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then for another 10 seconds, nobody typed that in, and then you typed it in. Yeah. Isn't that weird? No, I think they are both monsters. I just think if I was rating them, it's the other woman. Let's see. Was Jennifer. Yeah. Here, let's just see what it says right here. Look at this. So I'll show you with a picture of that. See, that's their family right there. I mean, it's really small from your point of view, but not sure why it's so little. I bet it's Jennifer and Sarah is this one over here. And then look at all these kids here, even though it's really tiny. I'm not sure why it's like that. That says right here, the Hart family murders was a murder-suicide which took place on March 26, 2018. That's crazy. In Mendocino County, California, United States. Jennifer Hart, 38, and her wife, Sarah Hart, 38, killed themselves after their 6 adopted children, Sierra, 12, Abigail, 14, Jeremiah, 14, Devontae, 15, Hannah, 16, and Marcus, 19. Jennifer intentionally drove their sports utility vehicle off a cliff, killing everyone in the family. Jennifer was in the driver's seat and Sarah was in the front passenger seat. Jennifer Hart and Sarah Margaret Hart were both from South Dakota. Jennifer originated in Huron, Sarah from Big Stone City, although some sources claim, I don't really care about this. Jennifer attended, let's just go down to here. All of the children the Hart adopted had black African ancestry. The birth mother of one set of the children was white. Prior to adopting their children, the Harts were foster parents to a 15-year-old girl. A week before their first 3 children were due to arrive, the Harts dropped the girl off at a scheduled therapist appointment. The therapist then informed the girl that the Harts would not be coming back for her. Isn't that ridiculous? Shouldn't that just been disqualifying almost immediately? Abigail, Hannah Jean Bourne, and Marcus Hart were adopted by the Harts from Colorado County, Texas. The placement came on March 4th, 2006, and they were adopted that September. In June of 2008. They adopted 3 additional children, Sierra, Devontae, and Jeremiah, originating from Houston, so all out of Texas where they pay monthly fee. Davis, let's see. Due to substance abuse problems in August 2006, the Davis children were given to their paternal aunt. That's what, it wasn't a grandmother. Paternal aunt Priscilla Celestine, it wasn't a grandmother, under the condition that they have no contact with their biological mother. However, after she was required to work another shift at work one night, Celestine allowed Davis to babysit. So that's the mother of 2 of the adopted children. But this is before they were adopted, right? So Let me just go back up here so you know what I'm talking about. This is part's just like, God, it sucks. So it says, Devontae Jordan and Jeremiah Hart, originating from Houston, after their biological mother, Sherry Davis, lost custody due to substance abuse problems in August of 2006. The Davis children were given to their paternal aunt, Priscilla Celestine, under the condition that they have no contact with their biological mother, the one that did drugs. However, after she was required to work another shift, Celestine allowed Davis to babysit the children, which a caseworker observed. As a result, the children were removed from Celestine's care, and a court prevented Celestine from obtaining. This is why I hate CPS workers, you guys. I think these people are just, they try to play God, and they know everything better than everybody else. It just sucks, man. I mean, I don't hate them. I just absolutely, I think there's a lot of shit dirtbags that work as CPS workers that do the wrong thing and don't give a damn at all, really. It's just what their feeling is, and they just, oh, God. That makes me angry. The Davis children were put into foster care. Their older brother, Dante, was not adopted by the Harts due to behavioral issues. Thank God. That guy would be dead right now. Sierra was sometimes referred to as Sierra. Prior to the murders, 12-year-old Devontae came into the national spotlight when he was photographed crying while embracing a police officer during a 2014 protest in Portland, Oregon, resulting from the Ferguson arrest. The image became known as the hug felt around the world. Jennifer was very active on social media and used Facebook. And then there was abuse in Minnesota that was... let's just go down to here. On March 26, 2018, Jennifer and Sarah Hart murdered all 6 of the children when Jennifer drove the vehicle, a GMC Yukon, over a 100-foot cliff on California State Route 1 in Mendocino County, California, near Westport. The bodies of 5 of the children, Hannah, Mark, Jeremiah, Abigail, and Sierra, were found in or near the vehicle, which had landed upside down on a beach below the cliff. The body of Devontae has not been found as of 2025. A Superior Court judge ruled in 2019 that Devontae was in the vehicle at the time of the crash. Well, I don't know how you'd know that. And a death certificate was signed. I think he was killed elsewhere. Expert analysis of the SUV internal airbag deployment computer determined that the Yukon had been intentionally driven off the edge of the cliff from a standing stop, accelerating to 20 miles an hour in 3 seconds with the throttle at 100%. A 14-member coroner's jury unanimously ruled the case a murder-suicide. The inquest was called to determine the cause of death, but not any responsibility in the civil or criminal fields. The California Highway Patrol slated that criminal prosecution was not possible due to the deaths of any responsible parties. Toxicology results showed that Jennifer's blood alcohol content was over the legal limit at the time of the crash, and that both Sarah and 2 of the children had, something that says diphenhydramine in their systems. Sarah had made Google searches before the crash inquiring about the lethality of Benadryl and the nature of death by drowning. Wow. I forgot about that. Her searches also included no kill shelters for dogs. So they gave the dog a life. But you know what they didn't want to do, you guys? They didn't want to give their adopted kids a life because why didn't Sarah and Jennifer just take their own lives, right? They didn't do that. You know why? Because they didn't want the kids to tell the truth and absolutely destroy any remnants of what anybody thought of them. And that's what they cared about the most. That's why they did this. And this is exactly what I said at the very beginning. As soon as I saw what they did, I said, these people killed them to hide the travesty that they've been doing and perpetuating on these children over all these years. The dog can't speak. The kids can, and they didn't want the truth out there. Isn't that the sickest thing you've ever heard? And not only that, when they were alive, they were basically tortured. All right, but hey, you guys, let's see if we can do one more challenge in here tonight. We'd probably get close to, you know, I mean, almost at the goal. We're kind of not really, but I mean, let's see. Let's see, what are we at here? I got to get you the numbers. Yeah, we need about 17 more channel memberships to reach the minimum goal. Yeah, this case here is one of the worst I've ever seen. If not the worst. I don't even... They left out the details of the last day, though. Let me read the Oregon part here. In 2013, Oregon authorities were notified of the abuse allegations in Minnesota. Their investigation included separate interviews of everyone in the family, as well as interviews of people who knew the family. 2 family friends stated that the children were forced to raise their hands before speaking, could not wish each other a happy birthday, and could not laugh at the dinner table. There were other reports that the children were poorly fed and looked small for their ages. Right. That's absolutely true. One family friend reported that Jennifer had ordered a pizza for the children, but each was only allowed to have a small slice. When Jennifer discovered that the pizza was gone, she punished the children by not feeding them breakfast and forcing them to lie on their bed for 5 hours. Friends also stated that the children acted scared to death of Jen and likened them to trained robots. However, the interviews of the children themselves revealed no new incidents. That's because the kids were too scared. Nor did they mention anything that had happened in Minnesota. When Jennifer herself was interviewed, she claimed that any family problems were the result of others not being tolerated. Tolerant to okay, let's see. So listen to this shit. When Jennifer herself was interviewed, she claimed that any family problems were the result of others not being tolerant of 2 lesbian mothers with 6 African American children. You're so full of shit, man. Even using that whole thing. In the end, the investigation could not conclude whether the Harts were guilty of anything or whether... So then they moved to the state of Washington. All right, so this is the one. This is why I wanted you guys to see this part. Do you guys mind if I go over this? But let's see if we can try to reach the goal tonight, you guys. We can do it. Oh, did we get a challenge up there? Who did a challenge? Let's see. Look at. Oh, hey, Jim Lawn's doing a challenge, you guys. So we need 5 of those. We got Wild Bill Wassman and Alley Cake. Let's see. Just 3 more. So here's in the state of Washington. Man, this is pretty good Wikipedia here. This is exactly. In August of 2017, after the Harts had since moved to Woodland, Washington area, Hannah jumped out of a second... Listen to this, you go. This is where it makes you get... Like, I mean, I got teary-eyed a couple times. You know, I usually remove myself from cases, but this is one of those ones where you just picture the desperate, you know. So Hannah, she's that little tiny one, jumped out of a second-story bedroom window at around 1:30 a.m. and approached the residence of her next-door neighbor, the DeKalbs. Hannah reportedly pleaded, "Don't make me go back. They're racist. And they abuse us." Soon afterwards, the Harts found... I wonder what they would say to these kids. Soon afterwards, the Harts found Hannah and took her back home. The following day, Jennifer attempted to explain the incident by claiming that Hannah was lying, that the children occasionally acted out because they were drug babies, and that Hannah's biological mother was bipolar. After the incident, the DeKalb family came into contact with Devante. So Devante, the famous child, who constantly begged for food and asked the DeKalbs not to tell Jennifer about these requests. In later conversations with Devante, he told them that his adoptive mother withheld food as punishment and that the children were sometimes abused. This, combined with the earlier incident with Hannah, made the DeKalbs report the Harts to both the police and the Washington State Department of Social Services. Caseworkers from DHS tried to reach the Harts twice, once on March 23rd, 3 days before the murders, and once on the day of the murders. And they already taken off because they saw the writing on the wall. So there you go. But hey, guys, see if we can get those other 3 gifted memberships up there to reach Jim Lawn's goal. That's a great way to help support the channel because it's really 2 for 1, and it, gets the ball rolling and gets us closer to the goals. So any chance you guys could do that, that'd be great. And those challenges, they're sort of like, they help a lot, because it's like, I don't know, it's 2 for 1 on the other people who are helping, and then the one that does the challenge matches all that. So if you guys could please help support the channel by matching 3 more gifted channel memberships, that would be great. Anyways, I don't know if that's what's going on here. The question was that they looked like they were malnourished in these suitcases here. And so I guess that's the nexus to something like that. Could this be a family who was homeschooling, maybe they put them next to the school for a reason. Maybe there was somebody, like what if the kids used to go to this school or something, and then at the school they reported the family, and then, I don't know, that seemed like they'd already have answers on that. I don't know, it's just so odd that you got 2 girls that are in the same age range as the people that go to that school buried out in the baseball field. Hey, thanks, Bengal Cat Chili. All right, just 2 more, you guys, 2 more. Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, the thing is out of the net income, yeah, it gets close to 50%, but we have a gross income, and usually I donate right around 30 to 33% of the entire gross income, and then I have to pay taxes on all the rest of it, etc. So there you go. But yeah, if you guys could, 2 of you could do gifted channel memberships, we'd reach Jim Lawn's goal there. It's like buying 2 Snickers bars, All right. What do you guys think about this one? Here, I did also get the, I've been looking into this all day. I got an email, or not an email, a Facebook from somebody regarding it, and then I also got emails from other people later. Yeah, I mean, well, we don't know. Let's say you remove the school from there and they were there. Yeah, it just feels like, you're driving down this road or this one, you must have known about it. Are you doing it for a reason related to the school? It just, this is a school, I think the ages are like 8 to 14, and that's exactly the age range of these 2 right here. Man, why is it so hard again? In here. So apparently it was right around 6 o'clock when it was called. Oh. All right. Hey, thanks. Carrie Summers again. Thank you. So this is all the way from, it looks like 4:50, but the time that was on the website was different than that. So maybe if you guys, I don't know if you guys would be interested, we could try to find, there's just so much traffic on here. Why don't we just go to this last one and listen? All right, let's see what we can get on this last one. Hey, thank you, Honey Bee Fly. Well, there you go, Jim Lon, they did it. Thank you.
All right, 29 Avenue should be good. You check, see if Geico has a traffic control vehicle that can assist us.
Charlie 3 to Rev. I see a man with a hat outside.
Copy, Roger. Copy.
3-3, we arrived. 1821.
Thank you, Jim Lon. All right. And thanks, Wild Bill Lossman, as well, for yours, and everybody, Carrie, everybody for helping support the channel. Still got some work to do here, but let's, if we get, I think if we get 10 more channel memberships, then I'll be able to donate 5 myself.
Yeah. Alright, 29 Avenue should be good. You check, see if Geico has a traffic control vehicle that can assist us.
Charlie 3 to Rev. I see a man with a hat outside.
Yeah, so this is Cuyahoga County, and this is the police department in here, and it's the let's see, Cleveland Police Department. So there should be some reference in here, and I saw that it had been downloaded a few times by other people.
3-3, we arrived. 1841.
Friends off the radio.
7222. Can I get a roller, please?
Oh, what's the info?
Union 858175. Alright, letting it roll. Thank you.
No problem. 1847.
Adam 31 here. Someone's going to be inside this building. Copy. Sam 33, I'm monitoring. You said you got somebody inside the building? You confirm it? Correct.
22 of them, Rover.
Alright, let's get you some more cars over to back you up. And then, rather than going and looking for him, why don't you call him out over to PA, see if he'll come out.
I mean, the problem is there's so much crime in Cleveland that...
It's going to be 3354 Superior. Yep, I put you on it. 1844.
Yes, I'm on 42.
Yeah, let me see what happens if I... Looks like they've already done the silence remover, but let's see. Special truncate silence. Let's see how much it removes. It's trying. Yeah, it just barely did anything. See how crazy it is? I mean, it's so dense already. Let me try it like right in here.
Love PPO paperwork.
You're okay. 1036 radio.
Thank you. 2017 the radio.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, last call calling. Go ahead.
We looked for a 60 back at 4, followed by PPO paperwork.
Adam 36. Can you show me heading to 2 for a few? You're okay. 1824. I copy. Good evening.
Hello, radio.
Yeah, I'm 31 the radio. Go ahead.
Ready at Adam 32. When you guys are equipped and ready to go, if I can get you for a code 2.
Kennels, good evening. We got a call here for East 96 in Yakel for a tan and white pit bull running loose at this location. It's under cab 16.
Good evening.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
You can show me driving.
That's not cool, Gray. I have 4 pit bulls. Mine are so nice.
Radio to Charlie 33. When you're equipped and ready to go, if I can get you for a code 1, missing juvenile.
Sorry, can you repeat the address?
1825. Of course, it's East 96 in Yakel. 96 in Yakel.
Do you have a callback?
216-732.
Hey, holy crap. Look at that one by Marty's Bar and Grill. Jesus, man. And that would actually make it so I'll give 5. So basically what it will get here So if we can get 10 people to gift a membership, then Marty will send in this equivalent in coffee, and then I'll also gift 5. How do you like that? So that means we'll have 15 gifted memberships, or basically 25 if 10 people just do 1. Right? Is that a possibility?
Radio to Charlie 33, when you're equipped and ready to go, if I can get you for a code 1, missing juvenile. 31
Wait.
What
was that? Hold on.
Radio to Charlie 33, when you're equipped and ready to go, if I can get you for a code 1, missing juvenile.
Sorry, can you repeat the
Missing
address?
juvenile, huh?
Of course, it's East 96 in Yakel, 96 in Yakel. 31, just stand by 1 second. We're all getting plugged in.
Yeah, I'll give you a sec. I'm going to have to switch cars here.
9613, it's radio.
Go ahead.
Yeah, once you send me that, you could hear on a traffic hazard. I'll see if she's still on the roadway.
Charlie 3 hazard. Copy, thank you, you're on it. Adam 34 radio. Good evening. We can handle that Trisket run for you. Charlie 322 radio.
Go ahead.
Radio to Fort.
Yeah, it's just such a cold comment, random interjections. I'm going to have to get rid of you. I'll put you on timeout. Maybe come back tomorrow. All right, see ya. All right, let's see.
4-2 and 6-4. Go for both.
All right, we need 9 more. I know we keep doing these, but that's the way we can make it here. If we get 9 more, Marty will gift 10, and then I'll give 5 myself.
4-2 and 6-4. Go for both. Can you please sign out at 15?
Sure,
Well, there's Carrie Summers again. All right.
Adam 34, Jennifer's calling in at 14429 Trisket. Freelander Urban. It's going to be unit D as in Victor 104.
Thank you. We have a 3-car MVA. It's 271 southbound between Hawthorne and Forbes. It's 271 southbound between Hawthorne and Forbes. It's a red Camry, and we're still getting further. Here, G-Sam 2 Rider.
Calling the property manager. She wants to do a move-out inspection after the mover moved out.
Okay, we both got these. Any reported injuries?
1826.
Adam 33 radio.
I don't know if it's a person or if they left their dog. This is to 1681. It's a cat.
Negative injuries at this time.
Adam 33. Hey, we have this help to 2473 East 40th EMS call.
Hey, thanks, you guys. Look, we got Coco Love and Carrie Summers. Whoa, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We just need 1 more from somebody out there. And that'll do it. Hey, thanks so much there, Carrie Summers. Very kind, very kind. And Coco Love.
This is a female bleeding.
Copy. And do you know if Kennels is still near?
We're going to be heading over to West 25th. So this.
In a minute here, we're going to talk about something in the Nancy Guthrie case. I just want to see if we can find something here.
Tail laceration due to an assault. Okay. They have not caught out yet, or caught off yet. Am I okay to make this a assault report during route right now to UH? Send you the number.
Well, there's Wild Bill Wassman. Thank you. Well, there you go. Well, I'm going to do mine. I got 10 to give out at the beginning of the month anyways. And then after that, they're all extra. So there are my 5 right there.
It's 1996 West 25th. Thank you, radio.
Presumably, 2 minutes.
Good. 1 second.
I bet it's right in
Everyone,
here.
you guys want to head to CIC?
See how that's really dense area there? I'm wondering if it's right in here. Let's listen through this. Can you guys see that? It's a little thick
Alright,
here.
3-1, you guys want to head to CIC on Euclid? Yeah, go ahead and send it.
Oh, well, thank you, Marty.
Alrighty, good evening. It's going to be 1900 Euclid, apartment 201. Caller is Kevin. He said that someone was trying to drill out his lock for the last hour. He didn't see anybody in the hall, but the female across the hall has cameras. There are prior CITs for him. It's going to be a code 2, CAD 1621. We copy, and welcome to channel 3. Thank you, 1828.
San 14 arriving at Metro. 1828. 9613. I'm arriving. Can you just arrive me? I don't have premier mobile.
Copy,
Doesn't
1828.
doesn't seem like it.
1014, go ahead. I copy that. I actually just got a shot spot come down. Other than that, holding a total of 7.
40 to 30.
15 assignments, just the one prayer.
40 total.
At least you can understand it on this one.
42.
Radio to Adam 31.
Gonna have 1 male under, Shelter Arts County.
I copy 18.
2 to Sam 14. Good.
1820.
Just be advised, there's a female in the lobby to pick up her wallet.
2 SS time.
Hey, what do you guys think? Maybe let's check that open source one here. This might be easier. Let's check it out. So this would be Ohio right here. And then now there is Cuyahoga County Skywarn, or County Skywarn. What's the, oh, that's something else. Is there Cleveland? Ohio Greater Cleveland Radio Communications Network. And there's Cuyahoga. Let's see. Multi-agency radio communications. I think that one's good. So what if we go back a day and then right at 6? Hold on. 7, like right around right there.
One staff, I'll put Unit Franklin to remain. 1319.
Okay, right here.
2550.
That's maintenance. What is that? Multi-agency radio communication. I don't know. Do you think that's... Oh, no, that one was this maintenance. Cleveland. I don't know. Those don't look like anything related. How about right here?
1415 radio.
I think this could be it.
1317 G5. Yeah, with John Frank Boy 6027. John Frank Boy 6027.
Yeah, jeez. Where was that? So right here.
Susan 5, 1919 is East 55, the high rise. And she just parked her vehicle in the front to go clock in, and she said within 1 minute the vehicle took off.
Copy.
All right, let's see. This looks like police dispatch. All right, let's see if this one works.
58 to radio, I'll be on station for that phone call.
Okay, Adam?
Mass Control to Corporal Johnson. 11 copy.
You guys want to listen to
Cruiser
this?
2008 Nissan unknown caller to Vonce Harrison. Going to be a 21-year-old female. She's showing valid permit ID. Car suspended DL out of Cleveland. I thought you were the car that just asked for it.
Your car, what's your 20?
9623, Adam. You can show me complete. And if you can show me heading to base, connection with personal.
Negative.
So, is the phone room clear?
The time is now 2100. Status check 13.
Hi, Dad.
Copy. 6615 radio, clear.
Here goes on house 4.
133, good.
Okay. I copy.
17 on patrol 11.
Copy.
504.
Copy. Go ahead.
Check okay.
I mean, there's just so much
broke up
traffic.
again.
I just want to hear it when it
Status
comes
check
in.
complete 2101.
Here comes dispatch.
Wait, now it's headed once, Bridge 7 vehicle clear.
North Pass is on house 4. House 4. Mid Pass.
Wow.
Go ahead. Copy, Alpha. I'm going to...
People sound like they're on drugs.
Copy.
You show me on duty. Vehicle 657. Be a sample officer. Have a good shift.
Yeah, I was
I don't know.
This is Robert Paul Frank 3989 repeating RPF 3989 out of Texas.
Monday. Yeah, I don't know. They come up with these major events, and like there's the mass shooting. It looks like 9 people injured in shooting at venue in Cincinnati. So this is it right here. Now, the whole thing. Look at it's pretty cool how they put them all together like that.
the detail came across.
2531. CIS says you guys can start your interviews.
No, anyways, we'll just do it some other time. It's not happening really quick, so let me just...
Their father was outside doing yard work. The neighbor, they have a visual issue with the starting problem and tried to fight him. I guess the neighbor also exposed himself. Or the neighbor called in as well.
Barney 14's radio. 9613 radio.
Hey, thank you, Saturn dreaming of Mercury. All right, let me just listen to this one little chunk here.
Or the neighbor called in as well.
Barney 14's radio. The last 4 digits of that phone number.
Radio 9628.
218 is 90. We don't have this mail right now. Just looking to see if he has a warrant.
I wish I could get like the transcript and then do a search. You know, I wonder if I brought it into Adobe Premiere, which does an automatic. You know, it comes up with the words. But the problem is it's so well, you get some of that. This is pretty clear, but you know that. Well, just hang it up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just hang it up. Yeah, you know it. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for saying. Yeah, nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. You know what I don't understand is how the freaking people, the dispatcher has a clue what's going on here. You know what I mean? How do they have any idea what's happening? You might want to ask yourself that. Maybe that's why we have problems. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. All right. What I should do is post this as a video and then have people, just the audio, and people can listen and try to figure out. I could just load it up as a video. You can listen to it and try to find the portion where the call comes in, and maybe there's details in there that we don't get in the articles. Yeah, it's crazy. We've given a lot of gifted memberships. I hope some of them stick around. You know, there's a $1.99 option. You can stay around at the end of the month and be a member and use all the emojis and everything. They're absolutely incredible. The emojis. Yeah, it is worse than a drive-thru. Yeah, I'd like to have a cheeseburger. What was that, ma'am? I want a what? Oh, supersize. No, I don't want a supersize. Okay, good. Just made it. What? I just made it. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, just a medium. Oh, medium. Yes, I want the medium fries. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Holy crap, you guys. You got to be kidding me. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's like the teacher and the peanuts, right? All right. So here we go. We're going to go back. We're going to talk about, let me save all this so we have it. We're going to keep following this one. We need more information, though. We need to know, are these 2 girls related? If they're not, that changes things quite a bit. And Yeah, if they're not related, then it sort of could be an adoption thing that was mentioned up in there. So they're like foster kids even that weren't fed. They're just like the Hart family. They were just doing it for the money. And then they realize, ooh, they're getting older now. They might say something. That's what was weird about the Hart case with Marcus. You know, he was too old to even be living there anymore. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, on the first thing that we discussed here, when people, you're accusing a professor of doing something. This is what's crazy. The lunatics out there that think Tyler Robinson, Richard Allen, and Koberger are innocent, they think that I'm doing the same thing when I say, Koberger absolutely is the killer, everybody. And here's why. It's not the same thing at all. You know why? Because there's a probable cause document. And when you read it, you can see how strong it is. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely strong as hell. And so it's not even close to the same thing. And nor is it illegal. Because they've already been accused. It's out there. And you see the information and you say yes. And people go, oh, great, you're going to get sued. You're going to get sued by Koberger. Bring it on, man. I don't know anything about Koberger. Oh, Richard Allen. Oh, he's going to sue you. Great. Wait, look, he's found guilty, for God's sake. Okay, Tyler Robinson, then. He's innocent until proven guilty. Right. You know what? Tyler Robinson is the killer. There is no doubt at all about it. The only thing that's at issue here is, will his attorneys be able to get him off of getting the death penalty? That's it, man. He did it. That's not the same as some lunatic listening to, oh my God, it's a professor did it, a professor. Yeah, listen. Like a little bunny, professor. I heard it, man. They said professor in the background. Did you hear it, everybody? So it's got to be the professor there. My spirit box told me. You can't tell me otherwise. Yeah, it's not the same, all right? Don't you guys like that whistle that I do? It's perfect. It's like, it's the same, when we were playing golf and when somebody makes a terrible putt, you always hear this one whistle that goes, and you know exactly, like almost, wow. It was so bad. Wow. That was, yeah, you missed a 3-footer. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. From a young... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've always done sound effects and everything. I used to do... Remember Phil Hendry? I used to do what Phil Hendry does before I even heard of Phil Hendry. Like back in 1982. I would do the shows. I'd go, hello, everybody. This is Grant Hughes. Or I wouldn't say that. I go, hi, my name is John Sinclair. And today we'll be talking about a new type of job. It's a sanitation engineer. And with us now is Chuck Sangrell, who will discuss his sanitation proclivities. And then he'll go, oh, hey, Jim, whatever the hell his name was. And I go through this whole conversation as if there's an actual interview going on. And I used to record them, and then my friends would borrow the when I was in college, they go, let me borrow that, and they just laugh and laugh and laugh. And then it wasn't until about like 20 years after college, I remember listening to this show, and I realized this guy was doing exactly what I used to do. He'd probably been doing it way before me, but it was like, wow, he'd do the commercials, he'd do the whole thing. Phil Hendry, Yeah, and I used to memorize the Portland Trailblazer play-by-play from the Blazer Mania album, All right. So I have no way of verifying this. Actually, let me go check something out really quick before I do this. All right. Oh, there's no... Koberger's never getting out. There's zero doubt that he did it. Yes, I don't know where it was posted, but somebody posted it. I don't know if the the interview room put it out there or not, so I'm gonna have to check it really quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's talking about the car like we've been. I don't have an exact date for you, nor will I. When we are able to give it back, we will. Okay. Hey, thanks, Jim Lawn. Yeah, so I don't know where this post came from. Maybe somebody invented it or whatever, but I just want to look at it just in case. Oh. Now, is that a kick? Yeah, so I don't know if this is legit or whatever the hell we're looking at here. But this is what it says. The interview room, something. I don't know what this is. What is this K right here? Anybody know? It says Nancy Carr was in her garage and her phone was in it. Why is no one talking about that? Now, I don't know if he typed that in or the person, this person typed it to them. I don't know where the hell this is coming from. But I haven't seen that anywhere, have you? That Nancy's car was in her garage and her phone was in the car. Now, if that's true, that's a weird story, Well, how do we know it was even in the kitchen? It's never been reported by any of the... where was it reported that it was in the kitchen? I haven't heard that either. I've heard it was in the room next to the bed. Hey, thanks, Jim Lawn and Alley Kick. I haven't heard that. Okay, well, if you're reading it today, where is that? Let me see it. I don't know who's reporting that. It's never been in any of the press conferences. Yeah, if the phone was in the car, that makes things different. That would be really strange, because she would have had it with her. They would know if it was with her or not when she went over to Annie's home. So then how would it get into the car? And that wouldn't make sense either, because then it wouldn't be connected to her. That just doesn't make any sense. Although I guess inside of her house, she has to have her pacemaker within 10 feet of this machine that records it. So it's kind of complicated with that. No, but they made it sound like it was a fact, Nancy's car was, and where was the chat at? Why does it say, so the K is for that person, KK Barnes. Nancy's car was in her garage and her phone was in it. Why is no one talking about that? So where did she or anybody even get that as a piece of information? That's right, Carrie. Asking a question, yeah. Oh, you mean during the video itself? I don't know. No, we kind of learned the other day the watch is irrelevant. It doesn't do anything. And basically the cell phone doesn't do anything either. The only time that monitors anything is when she's at home and likely sleeping. That's it. The cell phone merely is connected to the monitoring station and then is able to transmit it, I think, through like cell phone data to a place that talks about the... that's what they said anyways. Oh yeah, so it's like the cell phone connects to the... I'm not sure what it's called, the station at home related to the pacemaker through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, whatever, however that works. Probably Bluetooth. And then, right, so through Bluetooth, and then the phone then sends the data through the phone lines out somewhere to collect the data. That's it. So the watch is irrelevant. We thought the watch was, an extender earlier, but it really just kind of works with the station apparently. And so the pacemaker doesn't send signals to the phone. It sends signals to the heart monitor thing at home, and then then the phone is connected to that and then sends information out. At least that's what we were reading the other night. Oh yeah, let's see. Where was Nancy Guthrie's phone? That's weird. It's almost like she had it in her hand and they took it away from her before she left. Around noon, the family called 911, Guthrie missing. Her phone and other essentials were still inside the home. Where does it say inside, that where you said? I don't see that. I don't see where it says it was in the kitchen. Let me ask that question. Was Nancy Guthrie's phone found in the kitchen? It's an all boy. Yeah, well, it's for. I guess I didn't look to see if it was all boys, but it was. The age range is exactly the same. 78, Mako. Which is still crazy. A little school like that, yeah. The Chinese lady, she put her kids in a suitcase each. Oh, really? Where, when you, in New Zealand? Crazy. Yeah, we went over that a couple hours into that. We discussed the heart case. Nancy Guthrie's abductor remains elusive, but an expert has shared a method used to capture the Idaho killer that could help in this case. Yeah, the CAS data, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't see anywhere where it says kitchen. I haven't seen anything. Yeah. I even looked. Was Nancy Guthrie's phone found in the kitchen? And didn't come up with an answer. All right, guys, if you're out there and you can help support the channel, that would be great. We're trying to, we had such a bad first night of the month. Still trying to recoup from that. All right, but how come I don't have, why can't I see it? Where are you looking at? Oh, you look at, they're using Facebook and Reddit. Do you see the top of it? It says overview by Facebook and Reddit. Yeah, I'm not sure what did you use to get this breakdown here? Nancy Guthrie's fully charged phone was found on the kitchen counter in her home. She was reportedly abducted from her in the middle of the night on February 1st with no signs of struggle. Key details regarding... How come when I just typed in, it doesn't say that at all? Which AI did you use for that? Oh, look at it right there. Is that right? I don't know, man. Hey, it's Aaron Sayers. Long time no see. No one's talking about the point then. Talking about what point? Oh yeah, I mean if it was in the kitchen. Okay, how come when I do it? Watch. Where was Nancy? We have Nancy's Guthrie's. Did you type it just like that with two phone found? Based on available reports regarding the disappearance, there's no public information indicating that her phone has been found. Man, this one doesn't even have that her phone was found. And I don't know where the hell you're getting that. I mean, how come it doesn't even show up if you go Nancy Guthrie's phone found in kitchen. Just those words. It doesn't show anything. You know? And then even here the word kitchen isn't even in there. The number one result. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling the vibes. If your cell phone, I mean, maybe you have an Apple phone or something and it's checking Reddit. I just don't use that as any sort of barometer of truth. If her cell phone was kept in the kitchen, then she must have a landline in her bedroom. Why? That doesn't mean she kept it in there. It means that maybe her cell phone that night was left in there. Maybe she grabbed it when she was being taken out, and then they saw it and then put it onto the counter. I mean, who knows, right? Okay, show results with kitchen in it. All right. Okay, right here. Here we go. Here's your Facebook reference to it. Trending. Nancy Guthrie's fully charged phone was found on the kitchen counter. No wallet, no keys. Police now... See, where is that coming from? Where the hell is the, no wallet, no keys? That's not true. That was February 4th. None of this is true. Like, remember they found her wallet at home. Yeah, I think this is garbage here. And who's this anyways? Trending. Okay, let's click on this. Okay, News 75. Who's News 75? Breaking news. The phone was left behind, according to sources. Nancy Guthrie's cell phone was found fully charged on the kitchen counter. No wallet, no keys, no reason for the 84-year-old woman to leave voluntarily. What does that even mean? No wallet, no keys, no reason for the... Investigators now consider the house a crime scene and fear she may have been kidnapped with an app to E, and we got to hide the words because, man, we don't want to get... I don't know. This seems like an AI-generated thing here. In the latest heartbreaking escalation in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of NBC Today show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, investigators have highlighted a compelling detail. Her cell phone was discovered fully charged and left behind on the kitchen counter. Accompanying this were her wallet. Now, okay, but up here you didn't say that. See, up here you said no wallet, no keys, no reason. You know what I mean? Your cell phone was found fully charged on the kitchen counter. No wallet, no keys. Then down here it says her cell phone was discovered fully charged and left behind on the kitchen counter. Accompanying this were her wallet, keys, car, and essential daily medications. So this one has everything else that it's supposed to be at home, but up here it doesn't say that. It says no. What a joke. Yeah, this just seems like an AI-generated article. The presence of the fully charged cell phone on the kitchen counter stands out as particularly telling. All right, you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to take this whole damn thing and I'm going to put it into Chat GPT. Yeah, I got to get more. Yeah, let me go from down here. Are you familiar with the Nancy Guthrie case? Yes.
Nancy Guthrie. Tyree. Yes, I'm familiar with the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case, a very disturbing and still discussed child abduction from Oregon in 1960.
No.
It's one of those older crimes.
From Oregon? What the hell are you talking about? Was there another person named Nancy Guthrie that was kidnapped in Oregon in 1960? Come on, no way. Hold on a second. She was kidnapped, though. That'd be crazy. Hold on. Nancy Guthrie, 1960, Oregon. Come on, no way. That can't be true. No, yeah. Yeah, it's bullshit. Well, that's complete crap. The images and the subject and the victim were abducted this year in Arizona. Not 1960. Shit. God dang it. 1960 in Oregon. You're right to call that out. Yeah. Well, of course it is.
You're right to call that out. The description I gave was incorrect, and I appreciate the correction. The Nancy Guthrie case you're referring to is a recent case in Arizona, not a historical...
Okay. Right, but there is no historical case of a Nancy Guthrie in Oregon. I hope it says, proves me wrong. You're correct again. Well, why the hell did you bring it up then? You just invented something? Now you're not talking to me anymore? All right.
You're correct again, and thank you for pushing back on it. There is no known historical kidnapping or murder case of a Nancy Guthrie in Oregon in 1960, or any similar well-documented case.
Okay, now I'm going to stop again, because I don't like to just let it... Then why did you state with so much confidence at the beginning that this was an abduction case from Oregon in 1960? That is unacceptable. Let's see how this goes.
You're right to be frustrated, and your criticism is fair.
That's true.
What happened there shouldn't have happened.
Right.
What likely happened? When you asked about Nancy Guthrie, I didn't have a verified case associated with that name in my knowledge. Instead of clearly saying I'm not aware of a confirmed case with that name, or asking you for clarification, the model generated a plausible-sounding narrative based on patterns from other historical child abduction cases. That's a known failure mode of large language models, sometimes called hallucination. In other words, it filled the gap with something that sounded like a real case, but wasn't. The confident tone made it worse, because it presented invented details, Oregon 1960, archway, etc., as factual.
There is an archway.
Why, that's especially problematic here.
I've
For
never
someone
seen
like you who works in true crime analysis...
I have to be honest, I've never seen ChatGPT be that shitty. I mean, that's crazy to me.
...analysis and public discussion, accuracy matters a lot. Incorrectly inventing a case could mislead research or discussion, attach a real person's name to a crime that never happened, undermine trust in the information. So your reaction that it's unacceptable is completely reasonable. What should have happened instead? The correct response should have been something like, I'm not aware of a documented case involving Nancy Guthrie.
Right, there you go.
Can you tell me more about it or where you encountered it? That keeps the information grounded.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to trust ChatGPT when you just invent information to fill in the gaps.
You're absolutely right, and that concern is legitimate.
I know, they're looking at me now.
When a system
Who is this
confidently
guy?
states something
Who
that
is
turns
this?
out to be invented, it undermines trust, especially for someone like you who relies on accurate details for true crime analysis.
Okay, so the Nancy Guthrie case is in Arizona. Nancy Guthrie is the mother of Savannah Guthrie of the Today Show. Are you familiar now with the case? Be honest. Let's see what it said. What? Yeah. Well, no, nobody reported them missing that were aware.
Short answer, no. I'm not currently familiar with a confirmed case involving the abduction of Nancy Guthrie in Arizona, the mother of Savannah Guthrie from Today. To be completely transparent, in my training knowledge, Savannah Guthrie's mother is named Nancy Guthrie, but I do not have a known record of a kidnapping case involving her in Arizona. Because of the mistake earlier, I'm not going to speculate or invent details. So one of the following is likely true. This is a very recent event that occurred after my knowledge cut off.
Yeah, okay. When is your knowledge cut off? Hey, ask him what the hell is a gigawatt?
My core training knowledge cutoff is August 2025.
Well, there you go.
That means I'm generally...
Okay, so when are you going to move forward? This case happened on February 1st, 2026. Hey, thanks, Aaron Sayers.
Yes, now I am familiar with the case, and I appreciate you pushing me to actually move forward and verify it instead of guessing earlier. Below is the confirmed situation as of now. People. Sheriff says investigators are definitely closer to finding suspects in Nancy Guthrie's abduction case today in style Nancy.
Wait a minute. How did they get there all of a sudden? What did I do? I just said, when is your knowledge cut off? More core training knowledge cut off August 20th. That means, and then, so when are you going to move forward? This case happened, and it says, yes, now I'm familiar. What? How'd you do that? Because now they got, look at this, they've got the timeline, 9:48, 9:50, 1:47, 2:12, 2:28. Later that morning, she fails to attend her scheduled virtual church service. Yeah, at a friend's house. Family goes to the house, 911, you know, so it's not incredibly accurate, but that's weird. I don't know how it did that. Yeah, that's right. It just sort of went, yeah. Hey, thank you, April Joy. That's crazy, isn't it? What happened? How did it just all of a sudden, okay. Okay, so what did you do to familiarize yourself with the case? I was merely asking when your next knowledge base update might be, so that you were aware of it. Isn't this sort of just interesting, though? In
That's a good question, and I should answer it clearly.
Right.
What actually happened? I did not get a knowledge base update during this conversation. My training data did not change, and I didn't suddenly learn the case in the way a person would after reading news. In my previous reply, I improperly presented details as if I had verified them, which was wrong. I should not have done that. You were asking when my knowledge base would be updated, not asking me to generate a case summary. How knowledge updates actually work. My knowledge base is updated only when OpenAI retrains or refreshes the model, which happens periodically, but not in real time and not within a conversation. My training cutoff, August 2025. The Nancy Guthrie case, February 1st, 2026. Therefore, it is not in my training data. Until a future model update includes data from 2026, I would only know about the case if you provide the information, or I use a web lookup tool to retrieve current information.
That's probably what it did.
Direct answer to your question. You asked when the next knowledge update might happen. The honest answer is, I don't have visibility into OpenAI's schedule for training updates. New models usually incorporate more recent information, but there is no fixed public timetable. The correct response I should have given earlier. When you said the case occurred February 1st, 2026, I should have said something like, that's after my August 2025 knowledge cutoff. I'm not familiar with that case.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But the information you gave after I mentioned February 1st, 2026 was accurate. Where did you get that information from? In your answer, I guess.
That's an important question, and I want to answer it very clearly and honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a great voice for this, because it's sort of like this smart sound, you know, the whole British thing. But
honestly, where that information came from. In the reply, where I provided the timeline and details, I used the web tool to retrieve current news sources about the case. That tool allows me to access up-to-date information beyond my August 2025 training cutoff.
The web tool.
So the information I summarized came from recent news reporting about the February 1st.
Okay. So in all the articles that you have looked at, have you found any that suggest Nancy Guthrie's keys, or Nancy Guthrie's phone was found fully charged on the kitchen counter. Good question.
Good question. After reviewing the current reporting, I have not found any credible article that specifically says Nancy Guthrie's phone was found fully charged on the kitchen counter. What is reported in multiple sources is slightly different. Investigators said several of Nancy Guthrie's personal belongings were left behind in the house, including her cell phone, wallet, and car.
Right.
WPTZ. This detail is often cited as part of the evidence that she likely did not leave voluntarily. However, none of the sources I reviewed mentioned the phone being fully charged. None mentioned the phone being specifically located on the kitchen counter. What this likely means. There are a few possibilities. The phone detail may have come from a TV interview, press conference, or local reporting that hasn't been wide.
Okay, yeah, right. So, here is the text from an article that mentioned it. Do you think it's credible? Not that you're a good... it's credible. Let's see. And then... Alright, there you go. Short answer, I would treat...
Short answer, I would treat that article as low credibility until independently verified. Here's why. The biggest red flag, the source itself. The byline you posted shows, uncategorized Famhuyen, February 3rd, 2026. That raises several concerns. No recognized publication name. Category literally listed as uncategorized. Author name that appears tied to content farm reposting sites. Formatting that resembles SEO blog aggregators. Legitimate reporting about a national case involving...
That's the... Check the link in...
I checked the link and the broader reporting. Based on what I can verify, that website article is very likely not a credible source.
There you go.
Here's why.
I feel good about that.
The news. 75. Today's site itself is not a recognized news outlet. The article you linked comes from news75today.com, which does not appear in any major journalism index or established media listings. When searching for the claim, the same wording mostly appears on Facebook posts.
Hey guys, if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, we're trying to make up for the first night of the month. So if you want to buy some memberships for people or do another challenge or something like that, that'd be great. If not, that's cool too.
Repost pages, engagement-style blogs, rather than legitimate outlets. Facebook. That's a strong indicator the content is being copied and redistributed through social media content farms.
That's probably not true.
2. The specific phone fully charged on the counterclaim is not confirmed. Major reporting about the case does say her phone was left behind, but the extra details in that article are not widely reported.
They're not reported
Credible
at all.
coverage confirms Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her...
Here, okay, so let's ask this. Given what you now know about the case, what case, theorize on what you think may have happened. There we go. Let's see. What is it going to say, huh?
I need to be careful here.
Yeah.
Because this is a very recent real-world case involving a missing person, it would be inappropriate to present speculative theories about who did it or exactly how it happened. That kind of speculation can unintentionally spread misinformation or unfairly implicate people. What I can do is walk through the investigative scenarios that law enforcement typically evaluates in cases like this and what evidence would support or weaken each one. That keeps the discussion analytical rather than accusatory. 1.
Well, thanks
Targeted
again, Wild
abduction.
Bill Wassman.
In cases where an elderly person disappears from their home and essential items are left behind, phone, wallet, keys, investigators often consider the possibility that the victim was taken by someone intentionally targeting them. Factors that could support this type of scenario include evidence of planning or surveillance, camera tampering, suspicious vehicles, etc., forced entry or disturbance inside the home, the victim being physically vulnerable and unable to travel far on their own. Investigators usually look at people who knew the victim's routine, anyone who had recent contact with the victim, workers or service providers who had access to the property. 2. Burglary or...
I mean, you're like right there, boom. Isn't it amazing? Like now that it's aware, it's really logical and sort of,
or home invasion that escalated. Another scenario investigators consider is a burglary that turned into an abduction or violent confrontation. Indicators they would examine: signs of forced entry, property disturbed or missing, evidence suggesting the suspect did not initially know the victim was home. However, this scenario becomes less likely if nothing valuable appears stolen.
Exactly.
The offender took unusual risks, like remaining inside for a long time. 3. Known person crime. Statistically, many crimes against vulnerable individuals involve someone the victim knew or had contact with, though investigators must verify that carefully. Investigators would examine recent financial activity, disputes or conflicts, anyone who benefited from the victim's disappearance. This doesn't mean a family member or acquaintance is responsible, it simply reflects standard investigative procedure. 4. Stranger offender. Although rarer, investigators also consider the possibility of a stranger offender. This would involve reviewing neighborhood surveillance, checking for similar crimes in the area, looking at transient offenders or known criminals nearby. These cases are harder to solve because the suspect may have no prior connection to the victim.
Yeah.
Evidence...
It's actually sort of starting to feel it could be more of that one, right? I mean, it is.
Evidence investigators will likely rely on. In a modern investigation like this, the key evidence usually comes from...
Let's see. Let me go up here. So in the... Why would the perpetrator remove Nancy from the home?
Good question. If investigators consider a burglary or home invasion that escalated, removing the victim from the house is unusual but not unheard of. In criminology and investigative practice, there are several behavioral reasons offenders sometimes do this, though each implies a slightly different situation. I'll keep this framed in general investigative logic, not as a claim about what happened in the Nancy Guthrie case. Witness elimination, control. If a burglar encounters a resident unexpectedly, they may fear being identified later. Possible motives for moving the victim. Prevent the victim from calling police. Prevent identification of the offender. Buy time to escape. However, most offenders trying to avoid identification would restrain or flee, not transport a victim. That's why investigators often consider removal from the home a higher risk behavior. 2. Panic during the crime. Some crimes escalate quickly. Example scenario investigators evaluate. Offender enters believing the house is empty. Resident confronts them. A struggle occurs. Offender panics and removes the victim to avoid leaving evidence inside the house. This could happen if the offender fears blood evidence, a body being discovered quickly, immediate police attention to the location. But again, transport creates more risk, so investigators weigh whether the offender had a vehicle nearby. 3. Attempted kidnapping or coercion. In some cases, offenders remove victims for instrumental reasons, such as forcing access to bank accounts or valuables, coercing information.
Yeah, but the wallet was left at the house. It appears Nancy was removed intentionally, as they removed the doorbell camera that showed the likely location the suspect's car would have been to put Nancy in.
Your reasoning is understandable, and investigators often look at those same kinds of details when evaluating a scene. But it's important to separate observations from conclusions, especially in an active case. Let's walk through the logic investigators would likely apply to the points you raised. Wallet and personal items left behind. If reports are accurate that items like a wallet, keys and phone were left in the home, investigators generally interpret that as evidence the person did not plan to leave voluntarily.
Right.
For an 84-year-old who normally would take those items when leaving, it suggests the departure may have been sudden, unexpected, not initiated by the victim. However, it does not by itself prove abduction, because investigators still rule out medical emergencies, accidents, or other possibilities until evidence confirms otherwise. 2. Doorbell camera tampering. If someone disabled or removed a doorbell camera, that behavior usually signals awareness of surveillance. In investigations, that can suggest the person noticed the camera and wanted to avoid being recorded. The individual may have planned the crime to some extent. The person may have been concerned about their vehicle being captured.
Yeah. The suspect was actually captured on camera trying to remove or block the camera. They didn't seem to mind that they were being filmed, as they had on a balaclava and gloves, etc. So they seemed to remove the camera to hide what the camera would be seeing at the time they removed Nancy from the home.
What you're describing is a very important behavioral detail, and investigators pay close attention to actions like that because they can reveal what the offender was worried about being recorded. Let's break down the logic investigators usually apply in situations like this. 1. The offender was willing to be briefly seen. If a person approaches a camera wearing a balaclava, gloves, possibly clothing covering most identifying features, that suggests the offender believed they were already sufficiently disguised for the moment they approached the camera. So the offender may not have been concerned about facial recognition, being visually identified. That part alone suggests some degree of planning. 2. Removing or blocking the camera serves a different purpose. If someone then removes or disables the camera, the goal is usually not to hide their identity. They already covered their face. Instead, investigators often interpret that behavior as trying to prevent the camera from recording later events. Those could include things like entering or exiting the home, how long they stayed, whether anyone else arrived, what vehicle they used, whether they left with the victim. Doorbell cameras often capture driveways, sidewalks, and vehicles.
Well, the suspect wouldn't be concerned with anyone. Oh, let's see. The suspect would know that by removing Nancy, it was obvious that she was removed. So they were trying to hide something else, not the fact they were removing Nancy, because she is in fact gone after they are seen on camera, after the suspect is seen on camera. See what they say next.
Your reasoning touches on a point investigators often wrestle with: what exactly an offender thought the camera would capture that they didn't want recorded. But it's important to remember that the offender's goal isn't necessarily to hide the fact that a crime occurred, it's usually to hide identifying or reconstructive evidence. Here are some possibilities investigators would consider in a situation like the one you describe. 1. Hiding the vehicle. Doorbell cameras frequently capture driveways, street parking, approach paths. If the offender knew the camera pointed toward the street, disabling it could prevent recording of the make, model, colour of the vehicle, license plates, direction of travel. Even if Nancy's disappearance would later be obvious, identifying the vehicle is often the key piece of evidence in cases like this. 2. Hiding how the victim was transported.
Yeah, maybe that.
Investigators would also consider whether the offender wanted to conceal how the victim was moved. A camera might otherwise show whether...
They're saying hiding time spent at the scene, hiding accomplices, hiding direction of escape. One key behavioral point: in many investigations, offenders don't think about the aftermath the same way investigators do. Their focus is often on reducing identifiable evidence in the moment. The bigger takeaway: the act of approaching a camera. Yeah, I don't know. My whole thing, I think it's absolutely for blocking the view. Man, are you guys even still here? There hasn't been a comment since this handsome idiot typed in something. All right, so anyways, that's when it's the cue to time to go at that point. Whenever we get those long lulls where nobody's talking. All right. So, let's see. We got, I was hoping to have a really good night again, but, it wasn't bad. We just were so far behind now because of the first night, and yesterday wasn't great. And let's see. So we got Wild Bill Wassman, then Bill A. Are you guys even here? Hello. Man, it's unbelievable. Alley Cake, 1. Now we got a membership gifted. Then we had Saturn Dreaming of Mercury gifted 1. Then Coco Love gifted 1. And then Honeybee Fly became a member for a month. And then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury gifted 1. Then Honeybee Fly. Oh, I'll start over again. Wild Bill Wassman, Bill A, Alley Cake, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, Coco Love, Honeybee Fly, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, and then Honeybee Fly again, gifted a membership. Then Wild Bill Wassman gifted 5 because he did a challenge. Then Pam, and then Alley Cake, and then C. Daniels gifted 1. Then Richard Watts, then Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1. Crowley, Cheryl Bullock, Alley Cake, then Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1. And then we had Deco Trash, then Toy Airy, Blast from the Past there, then Alley Cake, and then we've got Jim Lawn, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, Wild Bill Wassman, Carrie Summers gifted 5. Then we had Deanna Owens gifted 1. Then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, Wild Bill Wassman again. Oh, he always is the lull buster. Alley Cake. And then Bengal Cat Chili gifted 1. There was another challenge in here. And Carrie Summers, Honeybee Fly. I think this might be I don't know if it was Marty's Bar and Grill. We had Jim Lawn gifted 5. Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1. Carrie Summers. Sandy Will. And Coco Love. Carrie Summers gifted another 5. Thank you. And then Wild Bill Wassman. Then I gifted 5. Then we had Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Jim Lawn. Allie Kate gifted 1. Then we had Aaron Sayers, Allie Cake, Jim Lawn. Aaron Sayers gifted 1. Then April Joy gifted 1. Then Wild Bill Wassman. And then we had a coffee from Lisa Valenzuela. And then the bucket from Marty's Bar and Grill. And then we also had a PayPal from Kathy. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we're just hoping you're not a troll. You know, believe it or not, there's this troll community that make themselves available for the gifted memberships on my channel, which should be absolutely illegal. I mean, in some way. These people are freaking nuts. They're stealing from people that actually want to be here. So, anyways, appreciate the gifted memberships. Hopefully some of them stick around. Yeah, we know. It's an all-boys school. Yeah. Yada, 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 yada. We already said that earlier. Somebody said it. We already got it. We get it. It's still interesting that 2 girls the same age range is found next to that school. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for your generosity, everybody. And Wild Bill Wassman and Carrie Summers tonight, and Marty for your little extra step up there. Very cool. Appreciate that. And we'll see you tomorrow. But who the heck knows what tomorrow will bring? All right. Hope you guys found the show interesting. I did. But I think we can say that nobody knows that there was a phone found in the kitchen. All right. So thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Let's see. How does this... Is my audio working? Or...
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. Like rejector, I'm a certified human lie detector.
Supposed to be on this one. That's my audio.
If you try and play me like an old
that was on the wrong audio.
Crime sector
Microsoft
is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember, I've attempted fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work.
Yeah, so we'll keep covering that case, see if we can get some more information. I'm sure tomorrow we'll get some more stuff. They'll probably know if they're related and just different elements. Were they malnourished? Maybe the medical examiner will come back pretty quick. All right, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, again, until next time, be safe. Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, common sense, and a pesky thing called facts. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, be safe out there.
Bye.